Oh my God. Hello, hi. It's good to see you. Hope the music isn't too loud. We did it. We finally started on the scheduled time and not 10 minutes early because I just kind of felt like it. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Gabby. Hello, Liam. Cool shirt. Thank you. This I stole from my friend Glass. It's time to cook. It sure is. Hello, hello, hello. Yo, what is Dara doing, Kale? Man, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to give you that answer myself. It's been a bit of a slow day today. I'm a little bit off. I have a slight headache, so excuse me if I'm a little low energy compared to usual. Welcome. Hi. It's good to see all of you. It's been a funny couple of days on Twitter. I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with it. Ugh. But yeah, hello, welcome. So, we're going to be doing a little chicken chickpea stew, won't we? I'm quite excited about it. So if you guys remember from the last stream, we made an entire pound's worth of garbanzo beans, an entire pound's worth of chickpeas. We did that in a pressure cooker. And with basically 60% of it, I went on to make a really lovely salad. The salad was consumed. The rest of those chickpeas I ended up freezing. I defrosted. And because they're like slightly, after freezing, a little mush in texture more than usual, I felt like they would be ideal for like a soup. Right at this point, you don't want to do another salad with it because it got a little bit softer from the freezing, unfreezing process. The ice crystals expand inside and kind of fuck up all the cells. So I think doing a soup application with it is always wonderful. I also have some chicken broth, don't I? I do have some chicken broth. I have some leftover chicken broth that I will be utilizing, that I will be implementing. I don't remember when I made this thing. Or do I? I don't know. It was like with the stream before it. Hello. We're gonna be deboning a whole chicken. We'll be taking it apart into all of its individual pieces. This soup is going to be using the entirety of the whole chicken as well, right? We'll divide the breasts into two. We'll probably try to keep the breastplate on. Love the voice. Thank you. Made it myself. I was born with it. Also, Zamu, it's lovely to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. That's kind of the process. Now, I will say, I don't normally go at chickens. Oh shit, I dropped a knife. I don't normally go at chickens anymore with kitchen shears. I don't really do like the whole backbone removal stuff anymore, but I think I might have to use this food today because I want to keep the breastplate on the chicken itself. And the reason for this is because this is going to all be in a stew. It's going to be in a stew with some thighs, with some drums, and the bone on the breastplate is going to slow down the process of actually cooking the chicken, right? It's just going to soak up some of that heat. It's not going to immediately dry out when we go for the soup. So that's why I'm thinking I want to do like a whole chicken. I want to keep that breastplate on. The way I talk is satisfying. Great. Awesome. That's quite a compliment, isn't it? That makes me happy to hear it. And I guess the first thing that we need to do is we need to actually talk about the chicken. So let me show you this bad boy. Fuck, you're heavy. So, my friends, as usual, once again, anytime that we're dealing with any kind of meat on stream, always take it out of the package. Always, always, always put it on a wire rack, put it on a sheet tray, leave it uncovered in the fridge. We want to dry it out so that it's not sopping wet by the time it goes on the cutting board, okay? It is imperative that you do so. The most unpleasant thing that you can have is just wet meat on your cutting board because it's a mess and everything is slippery. And when meat is cold, it gets nice and firm. So the order of operations is we're going to debone this thing. We're going to break it down into its individual pieces. We're going to heavily salt it, right, so that it brines a little bit, and we'll put it back into the fridge while we do the rest of our prep work, which I think will be quite lovely. So let me get my station nice and set up, everybody. It's good to see all of you. It's making you hungry? Well, I'm glad. All right, engage the next camera. So, I hit the wrong button, my bad. We need to start by taking off the legs because the legs is the easiest part. What happens if the chicken is still moving? Have you thought about killing it? Maybe, potentially. Darla, can I have a plate this time for you? Well, you know what? You know what to do. You gotta show up at my house. Please don't dox me. Astro Kitty, it is lovely to see you as well. Okay, so let's take our chicken, be nice and calm. You know what? Maybe I should take my hair tie off of my thing before I actually continue so that it does not absorb all of the chicken that we're going at it with. Okay, so Once again, we like starting with the thighs and the legs. Just kind of get them out of here, right? So you don't want to cut too close to the brisket because you want to preserve as much of the skin on the breast. When I got the chicken, it was already kind of mangled like this a little bit, but it's okay. It's going to be just fine. So once again, we're cutting really, really close to the leg here, right? Just slitting the skin. That's all we're doing here. And then we just take it back here, and then we pop it out, just like this, right? Nice and easy. And then we just go along the back of the whole bird, and it just comes out, just like that. The most of the work was already kind of done for us in a way. And that is all of the water leaking out of the cavity that I didn't get to drain. I am a little bit annoyed at that. We're going to slice the leg in half. We're going to separate the leg and the thigh, but I'm annoyed that my cutting board got wet. Even after all that air drying, the cavity pooled up full of liquid. But that's why we have paper towels at our disposal. Oh God, that's true. I'm showing dead animals on Twitch, guys. It's over for me. Okay. Flip this bad boy back on over, keeping it nice and close. Just like this. Take the leg off. Beautiful. So let's grab this carcass. Let's take that. I'm going to go ahead and grab these paper towels that I have dedicated for such a purpose because, again, the most important thing is that we keep a nice clean station. Chicken water, my favorite. It's not even broth. It's not even like the interesting kind. It's just kind of useless. Okay, so I'm going to show you the easiest possible thing that you can do here. People say, oh, you got to look for where the joint is. You got to, figure all that out so that you can split a leg and a thigh, which is pretty easy in of itself. But if you want something even easier, all that you need to do, you see this vertical line that runs right here? See this line? You see this line? Just cut alongside that line. And then it just cuts in half perfectly every single time. It's a very subtle line. If you've ever tried to follow like DI lines in Ultimate, it's like those like super, super subtle like SDI or DI lines that you can see sometimes. This is kind of what it's like. It's really subtle, but I promise you it's just that easy to separate it. We're not looking for where the joint is. Just follow this fat line right here, all the way down, split it in half, and then it just comes out just like that. And then it's done. And then that's a perfectly split chicken thigh and a chicken leg. Pretty cool, huh? I think that's pretty cool. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, that's actually just made this already simple process even simpler. Okay, great. I just thought the Smash Bros comparison, it really is like following a DI line in Ultimate. That's what my brain immediately went to. Okay, now, next step. Let's get these wings off. The wings are a little more complicated. We're gonna go all the way around the sides of it. Then we get to go inside and just see where the joint is. And in fact, this mostly just ended up popping out, just like that. Go all the way around it, and we take off the whole wing. Perfect. And in fact, we're also just going to take off the wingtip, because I like using this for stocks. We're going to keep the backbone that I'm going to put in a freezer for stock later. But the wingtips also go into stock. And then this is our whole wing. Beautiful, isn't it? I'm not actually going to separate this into the drum and the flat, because we kind of want everything in this stew to be the same size. If we were to take this and we were to separate it into the drum and the flat of the wing, then it's just going to be basically half the size of the chicken leg, right? So I'm going to keep the wings essentially intact here. Okay, let's go back around this way, right? Just all the way around the chicken wing. Look for the separation. Up, it's usually on the back is the easiest place to spot it, and then go all the way around it. And then we take out the chicken wing. I am 6'2". Being 6'2" is tough, guys, okay? It's not that easy. Okay, lovely. And now, this is maybe where we need our kitchen shears, because I want to have the breast intact with the breastbone. Or maybe, honestly, I think I can just do an incision here or so, and then just use the scissors from then on out. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? This is, again, my first time trying to separate a chicken like this. Hate it? I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I lied. I apologize for being untruthful. Okay. So, I think I'll just go down along the sides. Something like this. I should have probably cut that skin off. It's okay. And again, this is like fairly like standard spatchcocking technique, what we're seeing right now. And all of this is going to be used for stock later. I always keep a thing in my freezer. The skin is a little bit tricky for it to cut through, right? So that's where we kind of go in with a knife. We finish. Oof. How the fuck do we get to the end of this thing? I see. A little complicated. Yeah, there we go. Good boy. Sweet. That's one end of it. And then we'll go in with the other end. Awesome. That's the entirety of the backbone. Kind of removed. It is indeed bone crunching. You're quite literally splitting through like the ribs of the chicken. It's quite funny. And then I think we should actually... Okay, there we go. Just trying to pop that wishbone in half so that we have basically totally flattened this entire thing. Could I go a step further and debone some of it? Yes. Am I going to? Probably not. I think all that I'm going to do now, I'm actually just going to split this down directly down the middle, which is a little bit tough because this isn't necessarily bone or anything. I think this is just like the cartilage. I don't know exactly what the breastplate is actually made of on a chicken, but it's a little softer than bone. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we can actually just go down like this. Hopefully, I did not chip my knife at all. I did not. I was right. Is that a tattoo? Sure is. Oh, you mean these? Yes. Those are indeed tattoos. Okay, and then this is the only part that's actually bone, which would be the wishbone here. Okay. And then you kind of want two semi-even chunks. You want something that is around the same size as your legs and stuff. But this is a pretty good idea of what we'll be working with. Okay. I'm thinking maybe split it something like this. This should be the ideal chunk. It's actually quite nice for the breast to be a little bit bigger than like the legs and the thighs. So that it cooks slower, in fact. The last thing that we want is to like dry out a white meat. So let's just go, this one's gonna be tricky, right? Because this is actually the bone right here. You really don't usually want to try to cut through bone, but maybe it'll be fine. Okay? I think it's just fine. We cut through it, nice and intact. We're keeping the bone intact. We've kept all the breast skin intact. And in fact, I should have probably cut this up a little bit more up this way because this piece is a little bit thinner, right? The breast meat kind of tapers off, right? It starts out really, really thick here, and then it gets kind of thinner. So I feel like for this one, I should kind of get like that correct cut next time around. But I was just experimenting, just seeing what's up. So in that case, maybe something like this. And then just kind of crack the bone. Yeah, there you go. Ow. They are spiky, aren't they? Okay, good. Perfect. And that is now all the pieces of the chicken totally broken up. We have the 2 legs, we have the 2 thighs, we have the total of 4 pieces of breast, and we have the wings. And we also have the backbone and the wingtip separated, which will be quite nice for some other applications in the future. Sweet. Okay, and now, this is probably a good time for me to go ahead and wash my hands. So if you'd excuse me. Normally, I would try to do that with gloves, but unfortunately, I ran out of all of my gloves. Is it moving by itself? Are we serious right now? What happened? Was it just adjusting into position? Okay, anyways, this is all gonna go back in the fridge once we hit all of this with a good amount of salt. Just to show it off one more time. Right? This is an entire chicken broken down into all of its individual components, besides the wings, which we've kind of kept a little bit more together than we usually would. Quite lovely, isn't it? Okay, let me get rid of some of this stuff. And I should also wash my knife while I'm at it. That's a goodie, step 1. And I wanted to do this in advance so that we do give the chicken a little bit of time to properly brine, right? To have it like sit with the salt a little bit for it to retain some more moisture. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Dara had unleashed a poultry gut. That was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't crazy about that one. I did not love that one, but that's okay. I will let this go. Everybody on the stream seems to really love harassing me with awful puns. I don't understand what I did to you people, but it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. Okay, let's hit it with some salt now. Boop. Okay, bunch of salt. Is gonna go on top of all this chicken. Nice and high up so that it evenly distributes everything. Right, the closer you do it, the tighter your splash zone is going to be. A little bit more on this side. And a little bit less on the smaller pieces. And it's okay that I'm salting my like backbone and stuff. That's fine. That's not a big issue. Okay. We'll give it all a nice little flip. Make sure to season both sides. And we'll have the skin side up as it's in the fridge, so that the skin gets nice and dry, nice and taut. Okay? Sweet. That's just like that. Awesome. Give another thing of salt. How to drop the prime sub for my Smash Cook Crush? Well, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Okay. All that's just gonna go on top. Season with confidence. It's pretty difficult to over-salt it. Don't worry about it. These are thick pieces of schmeat, you know. Be nice and generous. And we want to put this back into the fridge. It's gonna draw out some excess moisture. It's gonna get nice and dry at top. And that means it's going to get a nice hard seal. And we're gonna be finally using and showing off the Dutch oven today, which I never really got to do because I feel like I've always been doing stuff on the stream that I can do like in a pressure cooker. This is one of those dishes that does cook fast enough in the Dutch oven that I'm not so worried about, you know, it taking too long. I'm really excited to show it off actually. Nice even chunks, right? Yeah, look at that. Everything is roughly the same size. And we started with a lot of very different pieces. Again, we keep the wings intact, we split the leg into thigh, and we cut the breast into two. Okay? Very, very important. We want everything to cook as evenly as it possibly can. Yeah, just like that. Awesome. That's gonna go back into the fridge, uncovered. Take a little bit of time to do that. Okay, beautiful. And we'll get some of the prep work done now. And the chicken doesn't need to actually brine for too long. It can be for like a couple of hours to do like a dry brine, but also like anything above 30, 45 minutes has been tested to be fine. You just want it to sit for a comfortable amount of time. Let's get a nice fresh cutting board out. And I'm actually going to wash that petty knife really quick. Just so that we have it available to us again. Because I really, really like it for like deboning the chicken. Yeah, it did not chip it at all, which is awesome. I don't think I'll often be cutting through bone. Again, if I will, I'll use like a very like, not like a sharp knife, but you do want like a duller, stronger knife, right? Something with a bit of a wider angle, usually like a Western knife. Something that's like thicker, right? Because a lot of like Japanese knives, especially like a lot of like the 15-degree bevel, the 16-degree bevel, they tend to be quite thin and sharp, which is nice for precision cutting through soft things, and not so nice when you want to cut through bone. Okay, sweet. That's all done. We got that taken care of. Favorite dish you've ever done in stream? Honestly, the chickpea salad that we did last time, that was delicious. Do you mean like fun to cook? If we're talking about fun to cook, honestly, the first stream that we did, which was the tacos, that was excellent. That was an excellent time. I heavily, heavily enjoyed doing that one. If that answers your question. But yeah, the chickpea salad was honestly excellent. What is this? Sweet. Cool. All right, next up. Chat, how we doing? We doing good? We hanging out? Let's look at the Dutch oven that we have. I didn't even know what to comment in chat. Well, look at that. Look at this bad boy. Look at this fucking Le Creuset right here, huh? I'm very proud of this thing. And we're gonna actually properly do something in it today. Look at this thing, it's gonna be beautiful. And again, the only reason I'm really able to show this off on stream this time is because this is not like a long stew. We're not cooking everything until it absolutely like shreds down into nothing. Is my frame rate correct? It looks fine. We're not trying to cook it down until it shreds into nothingness. We just want the pieces to stay intact and we just want to be able to develop a little bit of flavor. But we're not looking for anything crazy. Okay. Onion time, baby. Swag. All right. Now, let's think about how we want our onion in this soup. I love onion. I love it in this soup. However, I'm not personally feeling chunks of onion. I feel like I want something a little bit finer, mince, that kind of thing. Because I kind of want this to melt in. I don't want big chunks of onion. I want to be able to get the bite of the kale. I want to be able to get the bite of the chickpea. I want to be able to get the chunks of the chicken. And the onion, I just kind of want dissolved and for it to impart its flavor. I wonder how your setup works on these streams. I have 3 cameras. Most of my cameras are right here in front of me. And then the other one is mounted onto my wall. I'm very proud of my setup. It was a lot of prep to be able to get the setup the way it is at the moment. Okay. Take off the top, slice it down the middle, through the root, just like this. And again, we're using the petty knife. You'll see why. We're going to do a pretty fine mince, a little bit finer than some of you may be used to. All for texture reasons. Shit, do I have, I think I trimmed my nails too thin. Unpleasant. That is an extremely unpleasant sensation. Okay, that's fine. Nicely peeled half. Yeah, no, that's too thin to peel. We'll have to go out with this entire layer of onion. Okay, pretty fine mince. That's what we're shooting for today. So we're going to take this onion half. We're going to cut it into quarters. Get all this off the cutting board. Yeah, it's a little unpleasant right now. It's kind of biting me in the ass even. Okay. Just like this. And then we're going to do the usual. We're going to try and fan this thing out. Nice and fine. Look at that. And then give it a little turn just like this. Dolly versus Bobby Flay. I would win every single day of the week. Okay, nicely fanned out. And then, nice fine mince. This isn't a mince, this is just a fine chop. That's how I would define it with my arbitrary terms. Also, hello, Big Zach. Look at that, the whole thing just totally falls apart. And having a petty knife for this is nice because it gives you like a little bit more like dexterity around the onion itself. If we were to use a full-size chef's knife for something like this, it would have been a little bit clunky in my mind, especially for my tiny hands. I don't have big hands. Okay, that's fine. What would be my signature dish versus Bobby? That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever had a signature dish. There's a lot of dishes that I do exceptionally well. What would be my signature dish? I don't know. I'm sorry to say. Ah, man, you know what? I gotta say, my rice bowl with rice and beans, I make like some refried beans. If I were to do like a proper like braised beef with chilies, and then I made my own salsa and stuff, it would be fucking phenomenal. Nobody would have anything to say to me. Okay, let's get my handy dandy little bench scraper out. Because again, this is a petty knife, and we don't want to scrape a knife on the cutting board to pick things up. These are excellent tools when it comes to keeping your station clean. I love it when my nose itches when I'm doing prep work. My favorite. What's the difference between a mince and a brunoise? Phenomenal question. I don't have the answer for you. Why? Because I'm not classically trained. I actually wouldn't be able to tell you. Because I don't think, well, those distinctions do kind of matter, especially for like raw salads and stuff. But once things get sauteed, it all kind of gets a little bit smaller. Who do I think Guy Fieri had made in Smash? Me, Brawler. Of course. Canonically, he's supposed to make me brawly. I can't imagine Guy as anything else. That's just because of why do bad things happen to good people. It's all his fault. Why do has popularized it. How is the onion not making you cry? Beautiful question. Why do onions make you cry to begin with? Well, when you have a dull knife that is crushing through the cells of the onions, you are crushing more cells because it's a blunt object, and it's producing more of that volatile compound that tends to make people cry. When you have a nice sharp knife, it just glides through it. So point is, if you have a nice sharp knife, it'll be fine. This one's falling apart a little bit more. Interesting. Okay. It also is slightly dependent on the onion, but really having a sharp knife and then it's just going to be fine. But here's the thing, when people say mince, that's also a pretty general term, and I've seen people kind of throw it around. Granted, I've also seen people misuse julienne more often than not. Actually, can I just put this over here? I believe so. Okay. We don't want a lot of onion again, and the reason we're cutting it so fine is because we kind of want it to melt into the soup. It's fine that we have that one long piece. It'll actually just be okay. Hey, darling, hope you're having a good day. Hello, Audrey. Hope you're having a lovely one, too. Okay, one time I saw a guy eat an onion like an apple. Well, you can do that if an onion is sweet enough. Guys, for like... God, everybody has a selling price, don't they? I say that there's nothing that you can do to convince me of that, but that's not true. If you offered me $200, I would eat a raw onion like an apple. Now, that's not me telling you that you should do it. In fact, I'm probably not going to do it right now because I'd have to mentally prep myself for that. But anybody that refuses to do that, I don't believe. Everybody has a selling point, a buying point, excuse me. Yeah, you can chill the onions. I don't mess with that. Really, it's just about having a sharp knife. Look, I'm gliding through all of this, right? I'm not doing anything crazy to it. But we're also slicing it. We're not chopping it. Pretty important distinction as well. Throwing them in the food processor is a great way. No, that's for an entire onion. Throwing them in a food processor is a great way to make all of those volatile compounds because a food processor doesn't do a very good job of slicing, right? It doesn't do like these very meticulous pieces that are all intact. It'll crush them all up effectively. And then you'll get like a little bit of a mess. Okay. I'm taking my nice sweet time once again. When did you last accidentally chop your fingers while cutting? It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. I don't actually remember. I've never had an awful accident in the kitchen, knock on wood. It'd be very funny if this is the stream where my house burns down. Have I ever cut myself on stream? I don't believe so. Again, I don't cut myself particularly often at all. You go slow? I can probably cook decently blindfolded in my own kitchen. As long as I knew where everything was, I have a feeling that I can do that okay. Because I've lived here my whole life. All 20 years of my life. So. Going in. Right? Boop. Nice and clean. Get that out of here. Get out of here. Nice fine mince. Not a mince. Whatever the fuck this is. I am 20. So all 20 years of my life. Oh God, I would kill to be a judge. I think I would make an excellent judge. I really do. I have a lot of critiques of like shitty like food competition shows and the judges and the things that they say. And I listen to them and I'm like, I can do a better job than you, can't I? So that'd be fun. But the reality is, no, there is no like, that is not a career path. right? With most things like that, with getting into entertainment, it's just you kind of have to exist, know the right people, succeed in your own specific industry, and then maybe you'll get kind of lucky enough to do that. Do I consider myself an analytical person? I sure do. In fact, so here's the thing. I don't do a lot of different things. I do, however, focus my time and attention and a lot of my love and passion into only doing a few things. One of which, of course, like being food or something like music, right? And so I love like getting in the weeds with something. I love being able to immerse myself in it and try to understand my perspective and learn as much as I possibly can. With food, I've been doing that my whole life, but also consider it something like my Smash commentary, right? Where by trade, I am an analyst. I do a lot of analytical Smash stuff, which I think is pretty important to my style. I love breaking things down. I love explaining things. I love saying things that are meaningful and helping to push the conventional knowledge around the subject. That's a lot of where my passion comes from, I think. I just like advancing things. I like being able to raise the standard of things. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my food streams. I'm trying to be nice and educational. Am I the best cook in my house? I sure am. Yeah, I do like getting in deep. I like getting into the nitty gritty with everything. Okay. How do I keep my hair away from falling into the plate? I'm cooking for myself at home. If it happens to fall into the plate, so be it. Okay. Next, we have a little bit of prep work to do, don't we? Oh shit. Okay. We gotta peel some potatoes, we gotta chop some garlic. Guys, this is going to be a slightly shorter stream. We'll also do a spice mix. So some black pepper, some coriander, some cumin, that kind of thing. Keep it nice and standard. Let's get these garlic cloves out. I like doing this over my trash bowl so that it just like peels into it. All like the papery stuff that loves getting on cutting boards and loves just sticking to it. I don't have much hair left, so no problem. God, I love bald people. I don't think I've ever like fully explained this, but there is something so fascinating about bald people. This is like not even a bit. This is like an actual sincere statement. There is an urge when I see like a bald person's head where I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking get you, dude. I love clean shaven bald heads. They're just a fascinating thing for me, really. Okay, give that a nice little smash. Is Fallout New Vegas a good game? I played very little of it, so I feel like I'm not the most qualified. But I feel like when I did try to play it, I was playing it and I was like, God damn, this game is aged. We all have other things, exactly. This is not even necessarily like a sexual thing, by the way. This isn't me being like a little freak about it. This is quite literally just a compulsion. I see a bald head and I want to fucking palm that shit like a basketball. And that's fine and normal. Okay. We're not smashing it too much. We're not trying to disintegrate the garlic. We're just trying to separate the skin enough that it pops out nice and easily. Beautiful. Got that taken care of. I like wiping my fingers through like a nice wet paper towel whenever I'm doing garlic so that it doesn't just stick to my fingers. Because I don't love the sensory feel of having the sticky garlic on my fingies. It's quite unpleasant. We need a smash mic? What the fuck does that mean? Like a cutting board microphone so that you hear the high quality tuned up ASMR of every single knife stroke? Have I ever seen Chef John's two-bowl method? What do you mean by that? I love Chef John. He's actually just a nice comfort watch for me. Don't necessarily always agree with his videos, but... So, nice, thin slices all the way through the garlic. Again, this is why I like having the petty knife for a task like this. Beautiful. Then we just take them. We're going to stack these bad boys up. And then we're going to get as fine of a chop through as possible. Oh shit, yeah, I've seen that. That's a lot of effort. I do that if I'm doing bulk on garlic peeling. If I like, sometimes I like peeling garlic in advance. I'll do that. Okay, and then we're going to do one more little chop through. We're not looking for like a super fine mince or anything. You don't have to go crazy with it. Favorite streams to make? What do you mean? What are you asking me? Are you asking me what is my favorite thing to stream? Because if so, this is the only thing that I'm streaming right now. This is my favorite thing that I've ever streamed, period. So before this, I was doing ultimate streams for some time, right? Back when I used to go to college and stuff. And it was fucking miserable. Doing Wi-Fi Smash dealt a lot of psychic damage to me because people would show up and then they would talk a lot of shit and then they would beat me and then they wouldn't say anything and leave, or I would beat them. And it was so laggy all the time. I hated doing Smash Wi-Fi streams. And then for a while I was doing some variety streams and I was like, I hate playing games for an audience. And then I was doing some watching streams where I was watching food videos and analyzing them. And I was like, oh my God, why the fuck am I not doing my cooking streams? Am I gonna do anything fun for 100,000 Twitter followers? Jesus Christ. Oh, I forgot that that's gonna be a thing soon, isn't it? I'm gonna be 100,000 on Twitter. Ugh. I forgot that that's a thing. So I have no idea yet. Yeah, but I'm not looking for garlic paste right now, right? I'm just looking for the minced garlic. Yeah? Does it taste good? Nice and spicy? Well, it doesn't taste spicy, if that's what you're asking. Or saying. That's not true. Anyways. Going all the way through it. Again, we're not getting too crazy with it. Nice slow left chop here. Oh, he means gasoline? No. Bites back a bit. I've never had a taste of gasoline before. Might be nice to try out sometime, huh? Nice little taste for a little guy like me. Okay, so that's been done. We got an onion. This is one whole onion that we did a super fine mince on. And then we have a garlic as well. And now I believe it's time to toast up some spices. So let's build my spice pan, shall we? So to this pan right here, we're gonna do cumin, we're gonna do some coriander. I love the smell of gasoline. I love it, it's one of my favorites. I really do. Something about it is very pleasant to me. Okay, cumin seeds, boop, going in. Plenty of cumin, my friends. Plenty of cumin. Okay, that's going in. We'll do some coriander. Not as much, we're not going crazy with it. Just like that. And then some black pepper. Yes. Ugh. God, this fucking jar. Every time. Black pepper going on in. Just about that much should be fine. And we're gonna go ahead and take this to the heat. Let's get to the stove. Lovely, lovely. Nothing crazy. Once again, just toasting this bad boy up. Keeping it moving, keeping it shaking. While that is starting to heat up, you do want to, like this level. It's a good question. I've been cooking since I was 6. But if you're talking about the time that I felt like I've been good, maybe from the time that I was 17. So the last 3 to 4 years, almost 4. I'm turning 21 in November. I think that is when I hit like this point. Your Dutch oven is beautiful. Thank you. It was a lovely gift. Okay. Keeping it shaking, keeping it moving. We don't want this thing to burn. I was kind of toying with the idea of doing like a birthday stream. It'll be November 1st or something like that. That could be fun. Is that Anna? Is that what I'm thinking of? Hello. Hi. Big dollar 21st birthday stream and I'll just get like, I don't know, half a bottle of soju and just cook something and I'll make myself like a birthday steak. What is my dream dish to cook? That's a good question. I think I've cooked everything I've ever wanted to. The only thing I desire to is to have an ideal like kitchen where I have like an outdoor smoker, like an outdoor barbecue, something where I can actually do that. Because I live in New York and that's not currently an option, is it? Okay. We're just trying to get some very faint wisps of smoke from it. Nothing too crazy. I don't know. I do bake exceptionally well. Baking takes a lot of time to prep the dough and stuff, to be able to get things going the way they need to hydrate your doughs. And I also don't eat any sugar. I'm working out, you know, I'm focusing on all that. Okay, that's smoking. That's totally fine now. Sorry, I had to cut myself off for a second. You don't want this to burn, but you want it to get nice and slightly smoky. Okay, let's go ahead and take this bad boy on over to this camera. Ah, lovely. Okay. The only person who knows how to cook in the USA. What an incredible honor this is, isn't it? I've earned the greatest privilege that there possibly is. Okay. So once again, anytime you're starting with a mortar and pestle, you have to first crush before you go round and round. So first we give it a nice little crush, give it a nice little smash. Oh, that's so fucking sad. I'm so sorry. I wouldn't be happy about that either. Give it a nice crush. Make sure all the seeds are broken up as much as they can be. Oop, some of those didn't get actually properly poked down. Now we can go round and round. Very aromatic. Beautiful smell. Lovely. Sourdough subathon. God, that would be so good. I just have a constant, I should have an entire station set up that I have a sourdough fermentation station. And it's just a camera on it at all times, and we just check up on it. This is a mortar and pestle. And this is more of a European style one. That's like kind of a half smooth, half rough stone on the inside. There's like Italian wooden ones. There's of course like the Mexican molcajete, which is made out of like the volcanic rock that's very porous. And this one I keep essentially totally dry at all times. And the reason I keep it dry, right, is so that I never really have to wash it. I just kind of wipe it out. The modem and pencil. Also, Anna, it's lovely to see you here. Hello. Hi. Okay. That's all basically ground into as fine of a powder as I'm willing to go. Maybe a little bit more because I still see some of the husks. And we're just going to throw in a little paprika and stuff. Again, the paprika is solely for color purposes that I like doing. Get a nice little teaspoon for that bad boy. You don't need to go crazy with it. It's not imparting a lot of flavor or anything. This is purely for aesthetics. And that's all just going to go in. Boop. Reporting to the kitchen chef. Welcome, welcome. Guys, you know what? Today's stream vibes are actually kind of sick. I'm pretty happy about this. Feels good. Ah! This is fucking bullshit. That wasn't a bit that wasn't staged. This is so dumb. I just dropped my fucking spoon and I caught it. Now, that looked a little staged, didn't it? I'm not very believable. Women lie on the internet all the time. But I'm fucking mad about that. Okay. Spoon paid actor. God. It's over, boys. This is the one that's getting me canceled. Okay. Yes, it is adding just like a lot of heat. It's adding a lot of warmth into the dish. A lot of really good flavor. Okay, beautiful stuff. I'm a little clumsy sometimes. You know, man? It's tough. It's tough being me. Okie dokie. So we have gotten most of our prep work actually done. We'll focus on the kale and parsley a little bit later because that's what we're going to be kind of finishing the stew with. But I did also want to hold on to peeling the potatoes just so that we had something active to do while we're cooking things up. Let's take a look at our chicken. That's sort of sat in the fridge now. It hasn't brined for too long or anything, nothing crazy, but again, we broke this whole bad boy down. It's been sitting with the salt and stuff. We can let it go in there a little bit longer. I'm just figuring out exactly what we need for the rest of the stew. Spiciest thing you've eaten. There was a hot pot that I went to with my ex, who's lovely. I love her, she's the best. That was so spicy that she had to leave. She just had to go. We went to a little hot pot. It was a really good hot pot, but that was definitely up there as one of the, it was ridiculously spicy. It was absurdly spicy. Spicier than usual, in fact. Making a chorizo and potato soup next week. What Mexican flavors and veggies? Mexican oregano, cumin, biggest ones. In terms of vegetables, keep it nice and simple. We're talking onions. The big thing, important. Here's the thing. You're doing a soup next week? I don't know, man. Get some fucking chilies in there, huh? I have some ancho chilies in here. Get some chilies. You should do something like that, okay? So, oh, it is a little hot, isn't it? Oh, that's cute. Okay, so clarify. This is kind of the order of operations for the stew. We seal off the chicken so that it has a chance to render out some of its fat. Then we go into the bowl, into the pan, excuse me, with all of these onions that we have chopped up. Then we're gonna hit it with the garlic. Then we're gonna hit it with the spices. I guess there is one more thing I need to do. I have this can of tomatoes that I was going to add to this stew because I kind of wanted to get rid of it. I did want to blend this can. And I was thinking maybe it'd be fine if I just shoved a stick blender in there. I'd rather not fuck around with like a NutriBullet or whatever right now. Or maybe we can also just hand crush it in a bowl and use my last glove for that. I feel like that's the play and it'll be more fun. It'll be a little bit rustic. It's not going to be a smooth puree, but it'll be fine. It'll be fun. So let's do that. Do I even have any big enough bowls? That one's too big. No, that's not too big. That's totally fine. Okay, let's do that. Ugh, Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you? Did you hear that? Wash off the inside a little bit, you know. Preserve as much of the tomato flavor as you can or something. I don't fucking know. It's fine. We'll use a last glove up for this so that my hands don't like, you know. No, Anna. You're not calling anybody. Anna. You're not. Anna, wake up. Anna, get it together, Anna. Okay. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Much appreciated. Subs are never necessary, but always encouraged, because it does help. I would love for this to be my full-time thing one day, you know? But I'm not preoccupied with that. I just want to kind of cook. I'm just trying to grill, man. Okay? So, when you're crushing tomatoes by hand, always nice, remember, one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is to take it and to crush it outside of the water. Make sure it's fully submerged when you do so, or else you'll make just a big mess in your kitchen. Punch it. That works too. Am I a line cook? No, I'm not. I am currently applying to a job for like a teaching, cooking teaching assistant or just instructor position in New York, but it's kind of difficult, right? Because I need to build my resume. I'm working on that. I have a lot of really weird niche experience, so I wonder if it'll actually happen. I think I'm more than capable of being a cooking teacher. But if anything, I'll at least start with like the assistant position, right? Also, Anna, thank you so much, sweetie. Anna, look at the colon through emotes that we have. Anybody that's subbed, please show off the cat emote, because I am endlessly proud of the thing. Okay. I'm just being nice and gentle with the process. We're not rushing it. Good luck with the application. Thank you. Right, we're just keeping it nice and chill. I don't give off line cook vibes? Really? What does that mean? No, tell me, what about me is missing the line cook vibes? I feel like I do a couple of line cook things from time to time. Am I like not grizzled enough? Oh yeah. This is actually very fun. I don't normally ever get to do this because I've really started moving away from a lot of canned tomatoes lately. But I gotta say, the process of just kind of going in on these things and breaking it up, what we're really looking to do is also break up a lot of these big fibers. You know, have mortats and smoke cigarettes. I do, well, can't say everything on stream. Boba? Are you thinking of boba right now? Are you going to leave to get some boba? Oh, I actually can't. Maybe that works still. Oh. Just going at this. This is actually quite oddly relaxing, isn't it? Yeah. No. What the fuck? That looks like Wimper. Not Wimper. Whismur. The Pokemon Whismur? Wimsu? Whismur. The one, you know the one. Gently. Okay. This is almost totally crushed. Once again, just kind of getting rid of some of the biggest pieces. Whismur. I love Gently so much. Not just because it's the Legion I grew up with. Whismur, the little crybaby. You know you can punt him like a fucking football? And he's out of here. So, let's talk a little bit about this stew for a second. I wanted this thing to be quite proteiny. That's why we have the chicken stock, we have the chickpeas, and we have the chicken going on in. This is essentially a full meal, all in one big stew. Right? It has the potatoes, it has the legumes, it's going to have some vegetables in the form of the kale. It's going to be covering a lot of taste. It's going to be nice and acidic from the tomatoes, and maybe we'll add some lemon juice if we're feeling up to it. It's going to be nice and warm from the spices that we're adding to it. It's going to be nice and sweet from the addition of both the onions and the tomatoes, depending. It's going to be nice and meaty. This is hitting a lot of very different parts of the flavor spectrum, which is actually going to be quite nice. Because I feel like a lot of things that I've been doing lately have been like sort of intentional omission focused. And this is kind of on the other side of it. Okay. That, my friends, is a perfectly done. You know what? I'm actually going to pluck away some of these tomato heads because they're a little bit too firm. Like, you see this thing? That's a little bit firm for my taste. All right. That should be, right about now, the ideal texture that we're kind of striving for. And it's all going to cook down and soften more. How do I know when it's done? Just fine enough. You don't want massive chunks. You don't want super tiny chunks. You just, I don't know, just fucking go in. There's flames. Yeah, when a tomato sets on fire, that's a very good indication. In this case, this is a very abstract process that I'm doing. So, it's really kind of up to you, is my answer. It'll be fine. It's a fucking stew. You could puree it if you wanted something totally smooth, but I'm still going to have chunks in the form of onions, and I'm not pureeing the rest of the stew. So thus, everything is going to be in little chunks. I just kind of want it fine enough that it can become like a slightly viscous sauce. Add a ghost pepper in that? Why? There's no purpose. Man, you know what I'm not crazy about? Like super spicy chili culture. Just because it's like, it's excessive and you're not really tasting anything, and it's, I don't know, it reminds me of the people that are talking always about the terpenes in something. Not really my speed, can't lie. Okay, tomatoes have been now fully prepped. And I guess while we do the rest of the stew, we could probably prep up some of those potatoes. I do need to have a bowl ready for where all the potatoes are going to go. I feel like this is the optimal sized bowl, the one that the kale is currently sitting on. So I'm just going to give this bad boy the old flipskis. Oh shit, that is a comically tall plate of kale. We're gonna have to prep that bad boy later. That is a very tall thing of kale. And we'll fill this up with water. Nice, Chef John. Yeah, thank you. I've realized that's where I got that stem from. Kale was your old nickname in high school? Why? What'd you do? Okay, let's take the chicken out, shall we? Come here. Good boy. Okay. Chicken has now been removed. Look at this thing, huh? I'm not going to have it sit on a cutting board. I'm just going to have it go ahead and sit over here just for a moment's time while we focus on everything else. So what needs to happen? We need to blot that chicken dry. Do I eat kale? Oh, you're asking Kale. Okay, we need to just blot that dry with a couple of paper towels. Let's just do this over here. It'll be fine. And the reason we do that, once again, of course, is to simply make sure that nothing is super wet when it's going into the pan. That's going to interfere with the browning. In fact, we can probably cut to the all cam now, because we're going to be turning on the heat on our Dutch oven here. Finally, I'm very excited to use this thing. And so with a Dutch oven, it's considered pretty bad form to have it kind of heat up without anything in it, because then it can kind of overheat and damage the enamel. So I'm going to now preemptively, and I usually don't heat up my oils too much. I'm gonna go in with my oil right now. Just a little bit, just on the bottom, just to make sure it's like evenly conducting throughout. Again, pretty bad form to have this heat up without anything inside of it. Okay, chicken's right here. We're gonna blot this bad boy and get it nice and dry for us. Okay, sweet. And again, guys, this is gonna be a very short stream. This is a very simple one today. Nothing crazy. I've admittedly had a very difficult week. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit lighter, a little bit more just chill, and something kind of functional, because I just really wanted just a chicken stew with all those Latin flavors in it. In fact, we might even do a little packet of sazon in it. What do I think of microgreens? I don't, okay, here's my answer. Ready? I don't like lettuce. I don't like lettuces. And I don't like lettuce for the ecological reasons, because of how much water actually goes into it. I have a hunch that microgreens are extremely inefficient in terms of how much water they actually take on, but I don't fully know. I don't know completely. So I guess that is something I'm gonna have to look into a little bit more, but at home I'm not doing microgreens unless I'm actively growing them, because they spoil in the fridge pretty quickly. I don't love lettuces. I don't love how little they actually do for me. I like something like kale, where it's like very like robust and actually has a lot to say in terms of taste and flavor, and actually has a structure that holds up to being cooked. Okay, nicely blotted all the way around. Right, nice and dry chicken. If I could eat nothing but leafy greens, you would? Yeah, that's because you're a fucking rabbit, dude. That's why, I know what you wanted. Okay, pan's heating up nice and slowly. Getting it to where it needs to be at the moment. Lettuce is literally just texture. I like flavor with my texture. Me too. So the order of operations is as follows. We're just gonna get some nice good color onto the chicken. We're gonna take it out, and then in all of that fond, we are going to cook up our onions. We're gonna cook up the onions. We're gonna cook it up with some garlic. We're going to add in our broth, add in our tomato, build our stew from the ground up, and it's going to be awesome sauce. It's gonna be sweet. Okay. Oh my God, is that a cream joke? Is that what that is? Is that what you're doing here? And again, pretty important, especially when you have a really nice Dutch oven like this. You don't want flames that go over the sides. Just slowly heat it up on a lower flame. That's considered just general good handling practice. Most overrated food in your opinion? That's a good question. I don't think I have an answer right now. I'm thinking. Okay, the avocado oil is heating up. We're just trying to get it nice and hot, you know. And again, this is a pretty big flame that we have. I can even do a smaller one. Better to go low and slow when you're actually heating this up. Put it on high. Fucking blast the flames, dude. Oh shit, I just killed all the heat. No, that's a bad idea. Also, thank you so much for the sub. Much appreciated. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Right, medium heat. This is a pretty hot burner as well. This thing is huge. This is a huge Dutch oven, my friends. I'm going to actually adjust this bad boy, get it nice and horizontal. Like this. And also with the Dutch oven like this, you don't want to move it around on your thing. You don't want to scratch the bottom. This is a really nice thing. I'm fucking babying this tool. Okay, this is one of my first times that I've ever owned anything this nice. So I've been taking good care of it. Also, I mean, I'm starting to get some more cookware that is really nice to have, and I'm feeling like slightly guilty about using it, but my whole life I've never had like prestigious cookware by any means, and now I'm finally able to do a little bit of that. The liberals will never take our gas stoves. I refuse to give up a gas stove. I refuse. I fucking love them. If I had an open flame, if I don't feel guilty, I know. It's a tool that is meant to be used. I know. Do I consider myself a perfectionist on food? No. But, you know what I am? I'm a functionalist and I'm a minimalist. That's what I am. Everything that I do in food is ruthless functionalism. And then in turn, it then kind of becomes perfectionism. It is only perfectionism relative, okay, to the intentions of which that I am making this thing. So it's not unnecessary or unneeded or constant opulence. but I am doing things that serve a very practical function all the time. Okay? Anytime that I'm applying a high amount of technique, it's because I deem it necessary to do so. Also, my oil is now officially smoking. So let's just take it, let's move it around, swish it around for a second, and start going in. We're gonna go skin side down first. And I'm curious how much of this it's actually gonna be able to fit. We might have to do 2 batches. We're just trying to get some good color on this thing, and then we'll take it off. Okay, we are going to have to do basically 2 batches worth, because we really don't want to overcrowd that Dutch oven. Trying to get some good color on it, trying to get some of the fat out. We'll put in the rest of the chicken. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And again, the point is not to fully cook this through. Let you touch that pan, yeah? Nice way to measure that. Okay. And I guess we can also do some of the potatoes in the meantime. Because that doesn't really need to be babied. We just need to get some good color on it. Okay. Sweet. In fact, I'm just going to take a sneak peek because I don't know how fast it's actually cooking. It's not sticking much. It's fine. It'll be fine. Once we actively smell burning, that's a very good indication that it's like, whoa, you know, that's a little bit much, but it's okay. Okay. Let's head back to this camera shot. Ah, not you. Lovely. Something like this. Okay. Peeling potatoes time. I got my potatoes right here. I got a bowl of water. We're gonna peel these bad boys. Hello, Exile. It's lovely to see you. I'm actually going to dump away my trash bowl so that I have a bowl to actually get all of my potato peels into. I think I'm just going to peel them right now and worry about the chopping once I do like a nice flip on the chicken. Also, by the way, what's nice about air drying the chicken beforehand, it is releasing less stuff that has the potential to be burnt on the bottom. A lot of what like ends up burning and then starts out as fond, and then making like essentially like a really, really huge mess, is just dissolved proteins and other things in the water of the chicken. You get rid of it beforehand, it's still going to release some of it, but you pat it dry, you get rid of it beforehand, and I promise you it's going to be that much nicer. Nice and slowly, developing a little bit of color on it. And yeah, potato 1 peeled. I'm gonna give it a little peek. I like your voice accent, it's nice to hear. Also, hi Neffy, it's lovely to see you. Thank you. That is really sweet, thank you. That's very nice of you guys to say. I don't necessarily get that all the time, so, you know, thanks. Not ready to be flipped. It doesn't have a lot of color developed on it yet. So, we can peel a couple more potatoes. I'm off lunch, but I'll have the ASMR on. Well, it was lovely having you here. Goodbye, Anna. You gotta get back to work. Okay. Chef Dara, that's me. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Just peeling up some potatoes. I just peeled my fingertip. My favorite. Oh, I just got jump scared by that sub. If I got pregnant by the first one, I have a kid by now. Happy 9 months. Risen from the dead just in time for cooking stream. Well, welcome, welcome. It's lovely to have you. Also, thank you, Grau, for the sub. It was lovely to see you in France. Yeah, that is indeed a statement. That is indeed a sentence. These are kind of small potatoes, so they're a little awkward to peel, aren't they? So just going in there, getting a nice angle, the best that I physically can. Just like this, going all the way around. Beautiful. Fingertips, a secret ingredient. My favorite. I'm going to peel this potato, and then we're going to check on the chicken again, and potentially give her little flipskis. Again, we're just looking for that good browning. We're looking for that good development of color on it. It's going to be nice. Okay, sweet. Let's check on it. The layout is crazy polished. Thank you. Put a lot of love into it. Yeah. That's a nice golden color on that skin. And that fond is beginning to burn, isn't it? Because that part doesn't have all of the oil on it. I mean, it's fine. It does suck, though. Essentially, what's happening, my stovetop at home kind of leans to one side. It's on like a little bit of an angle, right? Yes, cumin indeed. So it kind of leans over to one side, which kind of sucks, meaning the oil kind of spills out in one direction usually. Okay. The only thing is I feel like that webcam for this shot could be a little bit more centered. Give the rest away. Well, I am cooking at home. This is for myself and my mom, mostly. So usually friends as well. Sometimes I don't have a lot of local friends. My friend Luke lives pretty close. And sometimes I just give him stuff. I was like, hey man, you want some beans? Here you go, here's some fucking beans. I would love, I mean, ideally in the long run, love to have my own place. I'd love to have dinner parties for people. God, that'd be the fucking dream. Yeah. But it's the back feet that are the issue. So you'd have to lift up the whole oven to get in there to properly level the thing. It's a bit of a headache. Okay. Again, we're not getting too crazy. It's fine if there's like a couple of scraps of peel on it. I am going to start babying the chicken a little bit just to make sure that it's not, doing anything crazy. Nope, it's just getting good color. I'm not going to go too aggressive with the fond though, because you have to remember, while you can technically do something in batches, the thing that doesn't actually scale is the amount of burnt stuff on the bottom of the pan. If I were to do a full, like super, super deep crust on this chicken, for instance, you see all the stuff that's on the bottom? It's going to be nothing short of burnt by the time that we add that second batch on in. So we're going to take this out. It's not ideal, but it's better than the alternative, okay? It's better than the alternative of having a bunch of burnt shit on the bottom of the pan. So we take it out. We take it out now. It's released a little bit of its fat, right? Not too much, nothing too crazy, but a little bit. Set this aside. We're gonna go ahead and swish it around again. The pan should be nice and hot again. In fact, maybe the best way to swish it around would be to, how hot is it? It is pretty hot. I'll just use a piece of chicken. It'll be fine. Okay. Chicken going in. Just like this. Just like that. Okay. And this should be the last of it. I could have maybe, no, I wouldn't have been able to squeeze that whole chicken. Do I like cooking or buying food? I love both. I love taking myself out to go eat. That is one of my favorite things to do, and I am way too broke to be able to justify that kind of thing. But I do it way more than I should, because I just love eating that much. I love eating, I love cooking, I love teaching people food. I love it. It's my favorite. Okay. Ah, shit, did I shave? Oh, my fucking eczema. Ugh. Guys, eczema is the worst. For those of you that are lucky enough not to have it, I'm very jealous of you. May you bite the chicken. It is undercooked at the moment. The chicken is basically raw on the inside. All that we wanted to do was get a little bit of color on it. So, that being said, if you still want to bite the chicken, by all means, you're welcome to. But you know the consequences of your actions, don't you? We peel the potatoes. We peeling the potatoes. Yeah. Get in there, pal. There you go. Finally took that out. This one kind of has some eyes in it. That's okay though. It'll be just fine. You should have said the chicken is raw. Well, you know what? It'll be a nice learning moment. Guys, I've eaten raw chicken on more than one occasion. One of my worst traits is that like raw meat looks always like really enticing to me. So I just sample on it whenever I so please. Not beating the, white people undercooked chicken stereotypes at all. Those allegations are remaining truthful. Okay. Potatoes getting nice and peeled. Oof. That one goes kind of deep, doesn't it? Getting rid of that. Yeah, chicken sashimi in Japan. And it's fine depending on the conditions of the chicken and how it was raised and any potential cross-contamination stuff. Food safety, a lot of it is just kind of stems from really poor quality and cross-contamination in the United States. That's why like people kept getting fucking E. coli from Chipotle, right? Just all in the farming practices and conditions. Ah! One potato got slippery. Slipped right out of my hand. Medium rare nuggets, nice and tasty. Okay, let's check on the chicken. See how that's going now. Again, that fond is getting really, really dark on the bottom. We'll flip that over. We won't do this side for too long or anything. And the onions are going to come in and effectively deglaze that for us. We're going to put in some more olive oil. And the onions, when they release their moisture, they're going to help to clean up the bottom of the pan. Oh, the potato slipped. That's all. I think, honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 potatoes is going to be a lot for this stew. This is not a potato-focused stew. I didn't just get lazy because I didn't want to peel that last potato. I really think that would have been like too much potato. Straight up. Okay. Now we got to chop the potatoes up. So, all we're going to do... Oh, shit. I should chop over here. We're just going to go in half, like this. And I think these are nice, respectable chunks. Nothing too crazy, nothing too massive. Something like this will be ideal, in my mind, for today's stew. I will say, it might be time to pull the chicken out. Yeah, plenty. Totally fine. Again, the only thing we wanted to do was to develop some browning on the bottom, not to completely fucking scorch it. Okay, let's show you guys the properly stove shot now. In fact, the heat might have been like still a little too hot, but it's fine. Okay, now we're gonna go in with olive oil instead. This is for flavor purposes and to make sure that everything is fully lubricated as much as it can be. Olive oil goes in. We'll give it a second to be able to get up to temperature. And I am watching the bit. I'm watching it with my lovely friend Aubrey. Okay. Still got a couple of episodes left of season 2. Okay. Oil is heated up now. Right, nice and smoky. Onions go on in. Awesome. Let's go in with the spoon. Get the last remaining bits of onion out. And this is where the bottom stuff starts actually being able to be successfully scraped off, which is what we're looking to do. We don't want it to burn, we're just trying to get rid of some of the most blackened pieces already. Most blackened sections of it, excuse me. Okay. Just gonna pop this into the dishwasher. In the meantime, it's gonna release more of its water out, right? And then this is our opportunity just to get all that off the bottom as much as we physically can. Which is actually quite tricky at the moment. We should go in with some salt though. There we go. It's getting its water out, it's doing the job. We'll go in with a little bit of salt. This is not going to take that long to cook. It's a very wide vessel that we have here in front of us. So, some salt goes in. Just to make sure the onions are nice and seasoned, as much as humanly possible right now. I was debating putting the lemon in, but I'm now thinking maybe the tomato will be acidic enough. I don't think I want to do lemon in the soup in any form that's not going to be the garnish. So maybe this is actually just kind of fine. Okay, the onions are now sweating. All that we need to do now is just cook the water out, right? 2 stages. Let's get back to the potatoes. First, the onions are going to pull out some of the water, and then it is going to be nicely cooking in all that fat. White wine vinegar, I was thinking of doing a little bit of vinegar. I don't technically have to reduce it. I can just kind of wait to see how acidic it's going to be with the tomatoes that we add. Okay. Potatoes getting nicely chopped up here. Keep them mostly consistent. Keep them mostly even in size. You don't want any, massive, massive chunks in there. Boop. Just like that. Nice and easy. The chat has been derailed. It's become purely about FNAF. That's fine. That's okay. I don't mind. And then really the only prep that we have left, we're just going to stem the kale. We're going to mince up the parsley. You hardly miss a beat in your delivery. How long have you been streaming / casting? First of all, that is an incredibly sweet thing to say. I have been casting about a year before the pandemic. So it's been about 4 years of doing esports commentary stuff. Thank you. You guys have been saying some really nice shit to me today, huh? Okay, potatoes nicely cubed up. By the way, I also talk to myself when I cook because it really helps me stay focused and stay on track with things. I think it's a very useful thing that more people could be doing. So all the fond has been successfully scraped up. The potatoes are about to start sizzling again. They're about to start sauteing again. And we're going to let them do that. Nice. It's going. You don't want to bang the spoon, by the way. Either that's pretty bad form. It can kind of chip the enamel, right, in general. What am I cooking? It's all in the title. Currently, we're sauteing the onions for the chicken chickpea stew that we're doing. We already chopped up all of our potatoes. We have all of our tomatoes that have been nicely smushed up. And of course, from last time, we have this entire thing of chickpeas that I put into the freezer that I really want to do for the stew because it got a little bit softer after having been frozen. Yes, of course, I'll never use metal on nonstick. And then we have this homemade chicken stock as well. It's wet from all the condensation. How did I smush the tomatoes? With my hands using a glove. Essential that you use a glove though. Thoughts on truffle oil? Fake and gay. Because it's synthetic truffles. It's not really the taste of truffles. You want truffle taste and stuff? Get a nice truffle salt, huh? Pressure cooker. Did a pressure cooker chicken in there for 40 minutes with some aromatics. It's kind of light. I have some extra chicken ramen broth in my fridge too. Gay here being negative. Yes, of course. Very important that I have to make that distinction. So again, whenever you're cooking these onions, more and more of that fond is going to be developing, right? Because the onions kind of scraped it up when they released water, and they'll be kind of putting it back down. You want to make sure that you're keeping this moving as much as possible. That nothing is getting too dark on the bottom. I'm just trying to get some good flavor development on it. Let me show off my stove shot. Do I randomly take a bite when you're cooking? Occasionally. I'm trying my best to be better about that though. Okay. You don't want to stir this around too much, right? Because then you're just not letting it do its job. You're not letting it do its thing or anything. So just be nice and patient with it. We're just trying to cook down the onions. We're trying to get a little bit of color on it. Then we'll throw in the garlic. Okay. I need to wipe down my cutting board again, don't I? Because I'm going to be doing the kale here. And granted, I'm going to be cooking down the parsley. It's going to be added at the end. It's not going to be used as a garnish because I don't love raw parsley and things. I do love the flavor parsley gives when it is cooked through. And we're going to do that when we actually get into the rest of the cooking so that we have actually something nice and active for us to do here. Wipe down my station, wipe down my knife. That's gonna be nice. Show the fire level. I can't. It's just below like a medium heat. Because again, this has been heating up for a while. Cast iron holds on to a lot of heat, right? It's a nice big heavy cast iron Dutch oven. Enameled cast iron Dutch oven. It's just below a medium. Put on high and add gasoline, make it burn. Is that... Oh, chub. It sure fucking is a coiled petty. Look at this thing, huh? Ooh, chub. That was cool. That was sick. I like when people look at my stuff and they know what it is. It's pretty nice. That was a nice touch. It's my favorite message in chat so far. Congratulations. I have excellent taste. Thank you. The Coiled Knife store is in New York City. It's my favorite knife store. I go there, I go hang out, I take women there all the time to show them cool little funny knives. And then they get the knives and then, you know, I love taking people to Coiled. It's my favorite shop. Nice and slow, guys, okay? Be gentle. People, like, you know what's insane? The recipes that say shit like, oh, brown your onions for 3 minutes. Shit takes time. Okay? There's two kinds of browning onions that can happen. The first is if you're starting super high heat before it releases water, and you'll get some very superficial browning on the outside, but it's not like fully caramelized or anything. Kind of think of like hibachi style, right? The onions are in big chunks, and then they get on like a super hot griddle, and so they get some color and then they release water. The second kind is you kind of wait for it to release its water, you wait for it to evaporate, and then you're able to develop a lot of browning as that after that happens. Just take a look at what's happening. Our onions have gone from translucent to slightly golden to now, I mean not caramelized, right? To get like a fully deep caramelized brown, that's going to take a while. But it's releasing a lot of fond as well in the process. That's all the sugars that are toasting up. And in fact, I would dare say this is the best time for us to go in with some garlic. And then once the garlic cooks up a little bit, we're going to add in our spices. Let the spices toast a little bit, and then we'll go in with the tomatoes. Just get as much reasonable browning as possible. The garlic you do want to keep constantly in motion, right? You don't want any pieces to go out by themselves and burn, and then you'll just have a bad time. This is essentially the start of a tomato sauce, really, is what we're doing, right? Okay, next, spices going on in. Let's get this thing out of the way here. Let's just go all the way in. All of our spices, they go in now. And this you really want to mix up before this burns. And we're going to have the tomatoes on hand in a moment. We're just getting one last quick bit of toasting, one last little bit of frying action on everything. Make sure everything is as dissolved into the oil as it physically can be. And now, without pressing it any longer, tomatoes, now. This is just cumin, coriander, black pepper, and paprika. Keeping it really, really simple. And now, you just want to scrape up the bottom. Scrape up all of the bottom. This smells really, really nice. Smells lovely. Smells like tomatoes and spices. Let's go in with the rest of the water. I'm adding this to the bowl so that we can swish it around and stuff. And pour it all the way in. Lovely. And that, my friends, is the start of the braise. Isn't it? Really make sure that everything on the bottom is as physically scraped up as it can be. Go along the bottom multiple times over. You want nothing stuck. It's going to be bad for your Dutch oven. It's not going to be good for your stew in the end. Okay? Now we're trying to get this up to a boil. We're going to add some broth in as well. Can we talk about the X thing? Oh, the XQC thing? God, yes. You guys are allowed to talk about the XQC thing. God, that was so fucking funny. I didn't expect him to see it. But he saw it. Oh well. Alright, this is washed out. No, it was so funny. It's not a big deal. I just started getting a lot of replies and stuff, so I deleted my original tweet, and I was like, yeah, that's a lot of replies. And people are like, oh, you deleted the tweet, you're such a pussy, and I'm like, it's fine, I don't care. You know what, I will say, I don't want to give XQC credit wherever, anytime. He did do the common courtesy. We're going to have to cook together sometime. I don't know who you are, so dabs a lot, but short. He did do the common courtesy of not including my @ because he has however many followers on Twitter, right? He has millions of followers. He's one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. And he cropped out my @ He cropped out my @ when he did the post of it. So honestly, I appreciate the courtesy to do so. I think that was the most responsible way, regardless of how fucking stupid his response was. If he was going to do a response to his followers on a very big scale, the fact that he cropped out my @ was kind of the content bare minimum that he could have done that a lot of other people would not. And as a result, it maybe mitigated the amount of people going to my tweet and finding it by 95%. So I do appreciate the fact that he cropped out my @ I think that was the responsible thing to do. I like, blurring out somebody's @ right? It's not a giving clout thing. It's because you will get harassed. You will get harassed by his fans. He has a lot of awful fans. He has a lot of awful, shitty teenagers. And in a way, he was able to mitigate that to some extent. I think it was the responsible thing to do. No. I think it was the responsible thing to do. I don't fucking care about getting followers from it. So I think that would have been bad considering his fan base. Oh, absolutely. Right? So I hate to give him any kind of credit. I think that was the best way that he could have actually possibly done it, which isn't the way that he did. So nice. Okay. Spices, tomatoes. Next up, I'm going to add in my homemade stock. And it's still kind of frozen, which is totally fine. It's all going to melt up. Right? Nothing to worry about. We're going to go a little bit higher heat. We're still making sure that the flame is not going over the sides, but we want a nice heat so that everything melts. And then we'll get the potatoes in, we'll get the chicken in, and we'll cook it down. So I think it is some high quality chicken stock, isn't it? So yes, I was thinking about that, and I saw the tweet, and I was like, okay, you know what? It is not unreasonable for him to want to respond, no matter how stupid his response is. But he did the thing that he had to do, which is to crop out my @ And then there were people saying, oh, why did you crop it out? Talk shit, get hit, that kind of thing. I appreciated it. I thought it was a good touch. I thought it really was a good touch. So, I appreciate it. Ugh, I'm still getting comments about it. Musk is going to make everybody pay for Twitter. Oh, that is something I don't want to think about. That is a viscerally unpleasant thought in my mind at the moment. Okay, this needs to come up to a boil ASAP. All that I'm really trying to do is just to get this chunk of stock. Okay, well, there you go, I suppose. Really don't want to strike the enamel when I can avoid it. I want to get that all melted. I want to get that all dissolved. I want to give it a little taste. Flavor is amazing. Does need some salt. We'll do a little bit of salt now, and we'll adjust for salt later as well. Because the chicken has been thoroughly seasoned, right? It brined. The onions have been seasoned. Who are some good streamers? I don't watch a lot of streamers. You know what? Fucking Rose Waltz. That is a streamer that I love. That is the person that we keep rating after almost every single thing. You know why? Because she plays games that she loves, and she fucking builds her little mechs and her little Gundams that she loves. I think Rose is awesome. I really like Rose Waltz. I don't watch any big streamers. I don't watch any of that content shit. If there was anybody that I like, it would be somebody like Ludwig, just because of the contributions that he's done for Smash, and the way that he's really fed back into the community, and he's really helped to put on some very special performances. Maybe that's the only one that I would mention. Otherwise, I do not fuck with big streamers. Nothing personally necessarily. I just don't like content. Content is not necessarily for me. It's not very up my alley or anything. Okay. Ludwig is very kind, seems it. Hassan? I don't know. Favorite Smash player to commentate? Awesome question. Gact. Gact is up there. Finster? I don't watch Finster. We follow each other on Twitter, though. I show up in Finster's chat every now and then and say hi or something, but past that, nothing. Okay, that's fine. The stock isn't fully melted. I'm just going to go in with the potatoes now. I'm going to keep this bowl because that's where we're going to put our kale in. Yeah, I've no. I don't know a lot of like big famous Twitch accounts. The ones I have in mind are like Emilu, Pokimane, XQC, fucking, I don't know. A couple big pinches of salt are gonna go in though. Very nice. Once again, we have all of the seasoning, we have all of the spices in there. They're sitting nice and comfortably already. And once this does start boiling, we can go in with our chicken. And this kind of needs like 30 minutes to cook. We're trying to get this up to a boil. That's all that's really happening right now. Boop. That's like my nice rule of thumb for cooking potatoes, by the way, because we're kind of timing things with the potatoes. The chicken is definitely, without a doubt, going to cook in 30 minutes. That I can assure you. Oh, nice. So that's just kind of going. We don't have to necessarily even cook this with the lid, but it'll be nice. And then in the last 20 minutes or so, I'll add the chickpeas in. And in the last 5 minutes, we'll add the kale, I think. I mean, he does that. Elon keeps doing that shit, right? Where he just like announces this new thing and then doesn't follow through with it all the way. I can probably just add the chicken now and it'll be fine. It doesn't necessarily have to be boiling for, you know, the chicken to go in. We'll just do it now. Let's get it out of the way for us. And once again, guys, the chicken is basically uncooked. All that we did, we just got a little bit of a crust on the outside. And now it's going to, you know, impart a lot of flavor for us. It's going to cook on through. It's going to be nice. Chicken cooks pretty fast. You don't have to worry about this being underdone at any point. Okay. Woo. This is a big fucking cauldron of soup. In fact, I think my moisture management was kind of on point today with it. Because this is like as much liquid as I need for everything. To hydrate the potatoes, for the chickpeas. It's going to get thicker once the potatoes cook down. It's going to get thicker once the chickpeas go in and everything. It's going to be good. And then we'll add all of these resting juices, right? So all the flavor of the chicken, all that's going to be going on in. Now we back off. We're going to let it do its thing, which is just come up to heat, just to come up to temperature. And you cook with chickpeas more often? Well, there you go. This is a fantastic way to go about it, IMO. Okay, let's get the lid on this bad boy. Sweet. Call me DGM. I just had a D because Twitch says, ah. Well, there you go. Hello. Okay, that's cooking. That's going, that's doing its thing. Bring it up to a boil, cook it down for 30 minutes or so. And then we'll move on to the kale in just a moment. I'm actually gonna put the lemon away. I'm not feeling like I want the lemon at this moment in time. The entire point of this stew, by the way, was to get rid of, this is a lot of what I mean about the fact that I cook in a very functionalist way. Okay? I almost never go out and I think of a dish beforehand and I think of, oh shit, I'm now going to find all of the perfect things for this thing. I go out, I get inspired, I get some pantry ingredients that I usually like having around, and then I look at my fridge and I figure out what I have to get rid of. I had this entire thing of chicken stock in the freezer. I had this entire thing of chickpeas in the freezer. And I was thinking, fuck, what am I going to do with this thing? And I had some parsley that was also about to go. The parsley that's like not fresh enough to be turned into a garnish or anything, right? So I was like, okay, I want like a nice application of parsley. I was thinking chickpeas. I was thinking I had a can of tomatoes. I was thinking I had like the spices, right? And theoretically that would be fine too. I haven't actually made hummus from the frozen chickpeas, but I was thinking this would be the best possible transformation of all of these different ingredients that I have. Right? This would be the perfect thing that I can make with all of them, with the chickpeas, with the chicken, with, you know, I went and bought some potatoes, I had some garlic, I had some onions, I had the spices lying around, and it'll be nice to have. And this is the kind of a meal that just reheats really well. I never cook things that do not reheat well, okay? If I am doing something very special, it's usually because it's intended to be celebratory, but I am at home. Okay, I am at home, I'm cooking things for myself, I'm cooking things that can then be put into the fridge, that can then make food for a couple of days. I try not to make things in massive batches or anything, so that I don't get like too tired or too bored of something. I don't do something so small that all of that effort is for nothing. I'm feeding 2 people, myself and my mom, of course. I want food in the fridge. This is going to be one of those things that perfectly sits in the fridge. Risotto doesn't reheat well, but I love it. I totally agree. I love risotto. Risotto is the kind of dish that I make for people when I want to impress them. I don't really do risotto for myself because it's a lot of carbs. I'm trying to do like a higher protein thing lately. And it is like a little bit of effort, isn't it? But when I'm cooking for friends and I'm cooking for a special somebody, I love making a risotto because I know that I can make them the best risotto I've ever had. That being said, I will say this, risotto that you make at home, 9 times out of 10 will be better than the ones at the restaurants because of the fact that risotto usually falls into that very awkward 30 minutes active cook time. It's 30 minutes of active cook time, and a lot of really shitty restaurants will do like they'll blanch the rice in advance. They'll blanch the rice in advance, and then they'll make the risotto with that, okay? And then as a result, what you kind of get out of that is this really shitty, mushy, gloopy, gluey texture. A very beautiful, velvety risotto. One that is light, one that's not over-stirred, one that's not over-mixed, okay? Let me tell you, it's really fucking special. It's really, really special stuff. And that's why I think risotto is the ideal date food for home, but it's not the ideal food to have at home. It's not the ideal food to have in your fridge or anything. Are you boiling it? No. This is what happens when you watch a goddamn pot. This is what always happens to them. Who orders risotto at a restaurant? People that are like, oh my God, I love Italian food. I love risotto. And then they get that shit. Souffle is my go-to impressive meal? Oh, absolutely. Souffle is also a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? When I was in France once, let me tell you, I had this souffle, but it was more of like a country home style souffle. It wasn't like this little individual like dessert thing. No, it was like done in a very, very wide. Hi. Okay, sweet. Guess who's the stupid gay idiot that didn't charge the microphone enough beforehand? Okay, I need a second microphone so that I have a backup one that's charged. This one's gonna be connected on a USB-C. This is why it's actually really nice to have super, super long fucking USB-Cs. That's annoying. This is just going to be dangling around, isn't it? Well, I had a fix ready just in case this day ever came. I have a super, super long USB-C that is now going to be a tripping hazard on my floor. Well, hello. I need a backup microphone. That's what I need. I need a backup microphone. I'm going to put into my throne thingy, but I am upset about that. I'm not happy that that just happened to me. Okay, is this boiling yet? It's not boiling? What's wrong with you? Are you sick? What's going on, pal? Buddy? It's not boiling yet. It'll take a little bit of time. What are my non-slip clogs? I have rubber grippy socks. Okay, so I was saying in France, I had this savory souffle, this bit of a home style one. Not like the chocolatey ones, none of those vanilla ones, nothing. I'm not going to put it on high, it's bad for the Dutch oven. I had this souffle that was in the bechamel, right? Because you always build souffles from bechamels. in the bechamel when they were building the glue. It had some garlic in there, it had some nutmeg, and then it was a lot of Gruyere cheese. It was a very savory souffle, and it was done in a very big casserole dish. And so it wasn't like these individual souffles that people are kind of used to in small ramekins. It was a very, very big one, and it gets spooned over. And despite that, it was still like really, really crispy. It had a beautiful like creaminess. It was super, super light. It was really nicely aerated. That was my favorite souffle that I've ever had. I prefer it to that of all sweet souffles. They appear to be doing really well. You're killing it. Why, thank you. Old school classic souffle preparation though, I want, yes. And that is sort of my dream souffle. Not really thinking about like the... You know what's very interesting about French cooking? It's very modular. In a way. French cooking was designed in a way that everything is a deviation off of other concepts. For example, in the souffle, it is based off of a bechamel. And then with other things that get added to it, right, with like the egg whites and shit, right? But it is quite literally based off of a bechamel. And then a bechamel gets turned into a million different sauces. You know, there's so many different dishes that just use a bechamel to then create a different base sauce, or to be able to create a different base texture. French cooking is very, very modular. It's very derivative in a way. Everything branches out from very like base things. And to some extent, it is a little bit arbitrary because then you get like overly thickened things or whatever, but it's once you learn the fundamentals of French cooking, you are quite literally able to make any other part of it. But it does result in a lot of prep compared to other cuisines. A ridiculous amount of prep, a ridiculous amount of prerequisites that actively have to take place. For French cooking, you need your demi-glace fucking done and have it ready at all times. You need to have, you know, your choux pastry, you need to have your bechamel, you need to have all that stuff ready and standby at all times. Half of my breakfast is Monster Energy and cigarettes. That's the best breakfast. That's the breakfast of champions. Okay, that is boiling. So we wanted to reduce a little bit in terms of how much water it has. Okay, let's take a look at our stove again. So let's take a look. This is now nicely boiling away. We're going to do this slightly ajar. Something like that. That lid is exceptionally heavy. We're going to do something like that. We want some of the water to go away, and we're going to set a timer for 30 minutes. 10, 20, 30. And make sure it's not boiling too aggressively, which the open lid should help us with, and we're going to drop the heat down to a medium. You haven't even made choux yet, but you're planning to soon. Well, there you go. In fact, you know what? We might also make some garlic toast. I have some sandwich bread that's not necessarily the best or anything, but it might just be fun. Toast the bread, rub it with a little bit of garlic. You know, maybe this is not the ideal configuration. Maybe something like this. That's better. Sweet. By the way, who needs demi-glace when better than bouillon exists? I fucking love demi-glace. Don't diss on demi. Demisexuals when they see a super reduced veal stock. Hey. Oh my god. That'd be such a good tweet. Demisexuals looking at the... Sorry. I'm shit posting. Live on Twitch. Demisexuals... Stupid fucking tweet. No, don't steal my thunder. I came up with it, damn it. Okay guys, this is a good reminder. I'm gonna try to add this other microphone onto the Throne list. I'd really like that other backup microphone just in case. Make sure this never happens. Ideally, the solution is for me to actually charge my shit before I stream. Anyone start work at bakery at 2 a.m. this morning? God, the dream. Ah, I want to go study at a boulangerie. I'd love to study at a bakery. Not sweets, but I would love to learn bread baking, excuse me. That is maybe the part of cooking that I am the least technically skilled in. I have a lot of theory, but it is not the one that is applied. I would love to do that. Imagine charging batteries. Do I sing while I cook? No, but sometimes I listen to music. OMG, my favorite chef from Ohio. Scallywag, do I look Ohioan to you? What is this? What? What a statement. That's insane. I'm not from Ohio, and I never will be. Are you kidding me? Or are you talking to somebody else in chat? Oh, shit, why are we so exposed? Hey, relax. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at that one more time. Right, that's nicely cooking along. That's like somewhere between a simmer and a boil. We can do a slightly lower heat, and we'll just let it do its thing. Okay, let's start prepping up some of that kale. So, question is, what kind of pieces of kale do we want? I am actually a very firm believer of having a slightly chopped up kale. Some people say, oh, you can just tear that shit in. How do I do the transitions? It's just a built-in stinger on OBS. Not a built-in fade, excuse me, on OBS. So, here's the thing. People, sometimes they add way too big pieces of kale into their soups and stuff. And then you get like this big floppy curtain that curls around your spoon and becomes really, in my mind, very difficult to eat. So I like doing something a little bit in between. And because this kale is not going to cook for long, we're not going to braise this down or anything like we would do collard greens. By the way, we should fucking do collard greens. I do incredible collard greens. That's one of my favorite things to make. Why have I never done this yet? Okay, good to know. Gonna think about that a little bit. You know what? We can just probably do the overhead camera for this, because we don't really need to see the pot. I love collard greens. They're one of my favorites. I adore them to death. Okay, here's the order of operations. Ready? Let's dump out all of these potato skins. We don't need them. This is my waste bowl right here, ready to go. This is where the kale is going to go. So, again, these are pretty young kale. This is kind of the tips. All we're going to do, we're just going to rip off a little part over here, and we're going to pull this all the way down, all the way through, just like this, and get rid of most of the stem. Again, this isn't going to cook for too long, right? So we want fairly smaller chop than we normally would. People say, oh, you need massive pieces, and I don't want very long ones either. So to me, this is my ideal kale size for something like this. Chef Boyardee cook-off. Oh, that's the one chef I'll never be able to beat. Okay. I love kale. I even add it to my eggs. I don't know what that means. I don't know how one would add kale to their eggs. So here's the thing. I don't love kale. I like cooked kale. Raw kale to me is not all that pleasant. It was kind of a forced thing. There was a lot of marketing that went into that because I believe, I watched a little bit of history on it. Kale historically was never really often consumed, and it was oftentimes just like a garnish for like buffets, right, where they would just put like a leafy green down. And then I believe it was just like one very successful marketing campaign that convinced people that they should be eating kale. And all this kale, by the way, is going to cook down. It's very difficult to have too much of kale once it does cook down. But I don't love it raw. I don't love the texture of it raw. I think when it's cooked down, it's honestly excellent and has really, really good flavor and texture. But I'm not a raw kale salad guy. It has to be like thoroughly massaged, like with some acid and stuff. Kale's delicious and good food. You have vested interest. You're a rabbit, dude. Guys, we have a bunny in chat that's telling us that, okay. Ugh, that's why I hate you bunny girls, whatever you are. Okay. Kale doesn't have a lot of bioavailability for potassium. No, you are thinking of kale, I'm fairly certain. Okay, this, I'm not gonna be able to peel down that easily. Yeah, the stem was just that thin that I wasted my time doing that. I can hear the pot glugging along. I can probably turn down the heat a little bit. Yes, so I'm pretty sure if it is cooked down, you get some of that bioavailability. Bioavailability is a pretty complicated subject. There's a lot of food out there that is like technically nutritious that you're not able to actually fully absorb and get the effects from. And a lot of nutritional science is really fucking inconsistent. Nice big bowl of kale, my friends. I do love cooked down leafy greens. It's my favorite. So again, my knowledge of like food science is purely functional. There is a lot of food mumbo jumbo that is kind of thrown around, especially shit like antioxidants. Fucking nonsense. And in fact, most people get enough vitamins and everything that they need from regular diets as long as it's a varied enough diet, and nobody's really severely deficient in something unless they have an absorption, unless they're like really malnourished in some regard. If you have a blood test and a doctor telling you, yeah, you should probably do this, you really don't need added supplements of any kind. And it is just one of the biggest and most unfortunate industries. This kale's kind of wilted. Not fucking with that. It is, it's not almost a buzzword, it is a buzzword, right? There is a lot of really ridiculous food inconsistencies, nutritional science inconsistencies. And it just so happens that companies love taking advantage of people. They really do. Especially like all the shit with mushrooms. It boosts brain power. Fucking nonsense. It's ridiculous. Like they're selling mushroom supplements out of lion's mane mushrooms and charging people like $40, especially like on TikTok. God, TikTok has really struck a chord with like a new generation of Zoomers and selling them like, nonsense like holistic health products. Not a lot of Zoomers, but man, let me tell you, they're getting them pretty good. Hello, Juno. And again, guys, by the way, this kale, I heavily washed beforehand in my salad spinner. I fucking love my salad spinner. It is one of the most important kitchen gadgets. This kale kind of sucks. It's kind of wilty. No, this one's done with. What is going on with you? Ugh, this one's fine. Luckily, it is getting cooked down, so it'll be okay. But I'm getting rid of any, like, significantly wilted or yellowed pieces. Okay, the stew has about 20 minutes on it. This is where I'm going to add the beans, because I do want the beans slightly softened. I want them to release some of the stuff, and it's going to help thicken the rest of the stew. We have a lot of things helping to thicken it, right? We have the onions that we've broken down. We have the tomatoes. We have the potatoes as well that are releasing their starch while this is going. How can you tell it's not good? You're looking for any ones that look bruised, like dark brown to black. You're looking for anything that's wet and mushy, and you're looking for anything that's very brightly yellow. Okay, let's go back to our stove really quickly. Let's take a look at our stew, make sure I don't trip on this USB-C that's on the floor. It has 21 minutes left on the clock. We're gonna give it a nice little stir. And this would be a great time, IMO, for us to add the chickpeas. So everything is cooking down really nicely. We could even do a nice little packet of sazon, just for fun, just to give it like that Central American Latin kick. Does smell very nice. This is a very comforting stew that we're going to have. Yeah, we'll do a packet of sazon, just for fun. I am not opposed, by the way, to pre-made spice blends. I'm not. I am, however, strongly opposed to, like, let's say, like those shitty fucking McCormick, super stale, super ancient, flavorless, spice mixes and blends that are overpriced. I very rarely keep any kinds of pre-made spice mixes in my kitchen. Sazon is one of them. I also keep a thing of like Tony's at all times because I really love Tony's. I think it's just a very nice flavor to have available. I just like the Anano. I like the color it gives. We're not going to go crazy. We're just going to do one packet. So we're going to go in with this bad boy. It's going to give it like an even darker like stain of red. It's going to give it some nice aroma. Maybe we can do, fuck it, second packet. It's a big pot of stew, isn't it? We'll do 2 packets and it'll be fine. But yes, so again, there is no shame in using spice mixes at all. There's a lot of people that go out there and they do it the same. The biggest mistake that you can make is shitting on pre-made spice mixes and then taking a bunch of dried herbs, mixing it together, like McCormick branded dried shitty herbs, mixing it together, making it yourself, and then saying, "Ah, that's so much better." In reality, it's not, and you've basically just wasted everybody's time. 2 packets is fine. Now we're gonna go in with the chickpeas. Whole thing is going to go in because the goal was to get rid of these chickpeas, wasn't it? Boop. All that's going on in. 18 minutes to cook it is going to be actually perfect. We're not looking to turn the chickpeas into mush. We're just looking to slightly thicken the rest of the stew. This thing is getting super, super full at the moment. And now we'll put the lid back on. It doesn't have to be boiling. We just want it to be at a slight simmer. Ugh, come here. Good boy. Really, we're just cooking this until the chicken and the potatoes are done. If I can't mix spice leaves like a witch, listen, a mortar and pestle is the best way that you can possibly feel like a witch in a kitchen. There is no better way to do it. A mortar and pestle is the coolest shit ever. You feel like you're concocting something. It is an awesome sensation. Not one to be taken lightly at all. Okay. Check my phone really quick. Okay. Just had some notifications to catch up on. Let's get back to this. Okay. Kale. Continue to shave this bad boy down. Get it off all that stem. Chop it up. Just like that. This one's already kind of broken down for this. And again, I'm not crazy about like these people throwing in like massive, massive chunks of, leafy greens. Yeah, they cook down. Yeah, they wilt. But then they still drape over like a curtain. And that is very unpleasant to me. This one, yeah, we'll take out this one too. Take a bite of kale. No, I fucking hate raw kale. I do not like raw kale. It's fine. I mean, it's not that I hate it. It's just fine at best. And there's like a million other better raw vegetables in my mind. This is not one of them. I love raw cabbage. Raw spinach is better than cooked spinach. I love, you know what I don't like? I don't like the fact that everybody makes like the little cream spinaches and they get done in like 20 seconds because they just use baby spinach and they're like, oh, it doesn't have to be fully cooked through. The texture that you're able to get when you fully like develop and you fully cook down like full like grown adult spinach and you cook that down for like an hour and a half and you make cream spinach from that, let me tell you, it is to die for. It is exceptionally, exceptionally good. It is really special stuff. I'm trying so hard not to trip on the USB-C that's on the ground now. But I suppose this is what I get for my mistakes. Okay, parsley. This is the rest of the container of parsley that I had sitting in the fridge. Once again, I'm actually going to be keeping some of the stems on because it's fine. It's going to cook down a little bit. We'll just get rid of some of the big pieces, like this one. The super thick ones. It's just going to be added at the last minute of cooking. Give it some nice fresh flavor. Get it nice and soft. Get rid of this. I believe that's all the big, big pieces besides this. That's fine. More than fine, in fact. Okay. Now we'll just go through it. We'll slice it up a few times. Give it a nice little rotation. Give a nice little rotation. Again, I'm not looking for massive pieces of parsley. I just want it to be fully integrated throughout. You have to go? Well, thank you for being here. Your presence has been more than appreciated. I believe the next stream is going to be sometime around Sunday. Sunday we can do like, I don't know, fuck it, like 5 p.m. maybe? Tentatively. Depends on, because I'm doing Brawlhalla commentary that weekend. Depends what my energy is and stuff. I'll try to do 5 p.m. Sunday, yeah? Listen, I fucking love instant noodles. You guys want some instant noodle advice? Let me show you some instant noodle advice. Ready? This. If you're not eating Shin Black, then you're fucking up. I should do a sponsorship with them. The company is Nongshim. If anybody, yes, I sure do. I'm doing Brawlhalla casting this weekend for the Autumn 2v2 champs. Oh, 1v1s this weekend. This is the one. This is the one that you want. Doggy, we don't have that? Fucking order it, deliver it. I don't know. This is what you want. Nongshim, hit me up. I would love to do something with you guys. Okay? Please. It is indeed still a thing. Esports scene is thriving. Okay. Just going through all this. All of this parsley. We're not going crazy. We're not chopping it aggressively. We're just doing a couple of gentle slices. Get rid of the last remaining big pieces. Not America. I'm sure you can find some importing company. I'm sure you'll find it. If you're really about it, and you're willing to make that kind of commitment, I'm sure it'll pay off for you. Okay, that's a parsley. That's all gonna go in. And with that, I believe all of the prep work is actually totally done. That was it. That was everything. Oh, I have some more parsley in here I need to get rid of. I'm a total noob with my knife. Get better. Okay, 1, watch a bunch of tutorials. Okay, you know what? You know what? Fuck all the tutorial videos. I'm gonna teach you some shit right now. You ready? Okay. You ready? No, I don't like David Chang's videos. God. I'm gonna go on a rant about David Chang. Okay. So, let me talk to you about my knife really quick. How do you get better? Number 1, let's talk about the grip. This is called a pinch grip. You can't really do that with a petty knife because it's so thin. Some people, they do petty knives like this. The thing that you don't want to do is this. This is kind of the Japanese like sushi like cut that they do for like individual slices. It puts a lot of strain on your wrist. This is kind of the grip that you want to do with a petty knife. On a chef's knife, like this, with my Mizuno UX10. You see how aggressive I get with my pinch? Okay, next. Now, I'm going to teach you something right now. I'm going to teach you something. Chopping, for the most part, is bullshit. We don't chop, we slice. Sometimes you chop if you want to just fucking get rid of something. But think about it this way. Think about the motion of an axe. When you chop something, your knife goes like this. Okay? When you slice something, it goes through the full surface of the knife and it uses the entirety of your blade. The biggest mistake that you can make is to go to something and you only chop it like this because you're only using this section of the knife. And that's why you need multiple knives that are suited to the size of the things that you're actually doing. For example, my petty knife, I'm cutting something small. I don't have a super big clunky chef's knife, right, that I just have to run myself through it. I can just go at it, right? Nice slices. And again, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. And this is the tiniest little bunch of parsley that I could even begin to show this off with, right? So this is not a very good example right now. Now, we'll talk some shit about David Chang in a second. We'll talk some shit about David Chang, don't worry. Okay. So, next, claw grip. When you chop something, do I have any examples? I don't have anything that I can chop for you right now. It's kind of annoying. You want to do something called a claw grip. So take a look. We're taking the fingertips, we're buckling it under, and we're using our front knuckle to guide the blade whenever we slice through. That's why, worst case, you'll slice your knuckles, you won't slice your fingertips off. Next rule, don't death grip the thing that you're holding. Look what happens. Let me show you with this bunch of kale right now. Ready? Let's say I'm death gripping this, like this. It becomes so difficult to move your hand back. The idea is, as you go, you want your knife grip to be gentle enough that you're able to move it back like this. You guide, but firm enough that it holds everything together. You know what? I wanted to also prep some scallions. So maybe we'll get some scallions out and I'll show you with those. I want to prep some scallions. I wanted those as a garnish for the stew. I forgot about those, so quite convenient. Okay, let me show you. Especially applicable with scallions, let me tell you. Let's have a nice little bunch of scallions, okay? Gentle but firm. And you need to find that sweet spot. You're not going to get it immediately. This takes a lot of time. And go slow, don't go fast. And you need nice sharp knives, okay? So take a look. If I were to death grip this, my hands would just curl into this. What is that? Nonsense. But if I just went total loosey-goosey, it's going to spread out all over the place. So nice and gentle, right? I'm gently holding this together, and then I'm just able to go all the way through the vegetable, while slowly but surely adjusting and moving my hand as I go along. Not chopping, using as much of the surface of the knife as possible, okay? And I kind of fucked up a little bit on these. I didn't get to the total base of it all. That's fine. Happens. Just like that. Okay? Keep it simple. So, here's the tips. Ready? Gentle but firm on your claw. Tuck your fingertips under the knuckle and you're using your front knuckle to guide it. Use a pinch grip on your knives, make sure they're nice and sharp, and slice, don't chop, and go as slow as you need to go to actually build up speed and momentum. If your knife skills suck, then you have to name the specific issue that it is. And then there's, these are the general guidelines if you're like slicing something. Everything is going to be different in the way that you prep it to get it ready for slicing and chopping. So, that's my advice for you. If you don't feel comfortable sharpening nice knives at home, you can just spend a little bit of money and get them professionally sharpened if you'd like sometime. That's always an option if you have that money to invest. And it only needs to happen like once. It depends how often you cook, really. Yes, go slow. Yeah, being fast is only if you have some sort of a deadline. That's why, guys, I talk about this every single time that I fucking stream. I never cook when I am hungry. I never cook when I have something to do in a few hours. I love the ritual of cooking. I love being able to take shit slow. I am not in a restaurant environment. And guess what? Neither are you. There is no deadline. There is nothing. So, I don't go shopping when I'm hungry. I don't go shopping when I'm ready to cook. And I don't cook when I'm hungry. Super important. That's why I'm able to take it nice and slow. Theoretically, I can get all this prep done in 15 minutes, tops. But I don't get to show it off, I don't get to talk about it, and I don't actually get to have fun with it because I'm always fucking rushing. And like this, I'm slowly able to build up my knife technique and skills over time as well. I've been cooking my whole life and still my knife, technique is not where it should be. So, take that for what it is. Now, that's because, I haven't been necessarily practicing or being as mindful as I could be, but it is definitely something that I can work on in the future. Sharpening segment soon? Nope, I don't know how to sharpen my knives well. I know the theory of it, which is whetstone, get the same exact angle as your knife has, go at it. I would like to learn it. I would like to take a class on it. I would like to take a nice professional class on it because I have very nice knives and I don't want to fuck them up. So I'm just still getting them only professionally sharpened, and that is not something that I am actually qualified to teach anybody. Hi, Cuffy. It's good to see you. I can teach you about theory. I can teach you about functionalism. I can teach you about minimalism. So guys, keep in mind the timing of everything. On that timer, it says 6 minutes left. Everything's been kind of cooking for 24 minutes. When it hits the 5 to 4 minute mark, we're going to go in with a kale. 5 minutes is going to be fine. Can't really overcook it in an application like this. 5 minutes left, we're going to go in with the kale, and we're going to take a look at the status of the chicken and the potatoes. So, okay, 5 minutes in. Let's go take a look at the stew, shall we? Where is my thing? Lovely. Okay. That's not that hot. That's staying nice and... Ah, shit, that is hot. Fuck. Okay. That's all going. That's cooking really, really nicely at the moment. Making sure nothing is stuck at the bottom. But yeah, no, the chickpeas are in there. The potatoes are in there. This looks like a really lovely stew. Everything is cooking the way that it should at the moment. I could have gotten a darker color on the chicken, but I think I might have just needed some more oil at the bottom, and I could have patted it dry a little bit more. I feel like that's kind of what happened. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice, it's not totally like watery and stuff, but it's like a very, very nice like soup. It's not like a thick stew or anything. And if we wanted like a thick stew, what we can do, we can cook this down until the potatoes break down. What do you do with all the extra? What are we talking about? Extra what? Are you talking to Anna? So, I'm gonna go take out a piece of potato and see where it's at. Because that's kind of the thing that I'm using to gauge how done this is. I promise you the chicken is cooked. We're just in the process of getting it like pretty tender now. Which, it can basically cook as long as it wants to. All right. The potato has a bit of structural integrity to it. Oh, I'm gonna give it to my mom. And this is food for a couple of days. So the potato is still a little bit firm for me. Let me show it off in my other camera. And I'm actually going to have the lid open because I would like to reduce that a little bit. We're on camera. Okay, saved. I really need to get better at it. That's not a week. Guys, that's only one whole chicken in there. I will say though, that is exceptionally tasty. That is really flavorful. It's tender. It's tender all the way through. Grilled in just what, one single potato? It is tender all the way through, but it's not like falling apart, pleasant like soup texture yet. It still has it still has all of its structural integrity. What I do want to taste for though is going to be the seasoning of it. That's what I'm going to taste for you. Because this should be pretty under-salted. The stock didn't have a lot of salt. The only salt is in the onions and the chicken itself. Just seeing all the other components now. Oh, that flavor is excellent. That flavor is awesome. That is kind of exactly what I was going for. Only thing is, it does indeed need more salt. And the kale is going to release a lot more water too. Okay. The chickpeas are really nice. That is awesome. That is really tasty. Okay. I'm setting a timer for like 8 more minutes, and then in 3 minutes we'll add in the kale. I will turn up the heat slightly so this thing can reduce properly. The chicken, I bet I can cook this more, can't I? We'll see. Getting this up to a nice heat. It's getting nice and viscous. It's going to get more viscous as the potato breaks down in it. Yes, I was also thinking of doing a can of white beans, but I really just kind of wanted to get rid of the leftovers and use those white beans for like a different application in the future. This was kind of my thinking. I'm not going to go too crazy with the salt because it's going to reduce and become a little bit more intense in terms of how much salt it actually has. But just 1.5 big pinches. Just going to go in now. Going to mix that through, make sure they don't hit anything unevenly. Let's scrape up those sides as well. That's kind of important, isn't it? To do so. Get those sides scraped up, get all of that integrated into the pot. Oh, this is a really good fucking stew. I'm excited about it. It's like a super hearty meal. It's got the coriander, it's got the cumin in it, it's got a little bit of the paprika, it's got the 2 packets of sazon. It has the chicken, it has the potatoes, it has the tomato, it has the garlic. Just really standard classic flavors. Once again, just still constant like Latin inspiration. Thoughts on Adderall? Love it. I'm on 20 milligrams of Vyvanse right now myself. Because I have ADHD, guys. Of course. Adderall's a little inconsistent for me in my like ADHD like treatment stuff though. I've always, when I did make the switch to Vyvanse, Vyvanse has been more consistent. Thoughts on estrogen? You know what my fucking thoughts are? I was supposed to get a delivery of needles today and they didn't come in yet. And I'm really annoyed because I'm 3 days late on my injection. It's over, guys. I've become a boy again. 3 days late on my injection. Most masculine guy on all the food and drink right now. Will estrogen turn me into a big beefy guy? Yeah, that's what it does. Good question though. Glad you asked. Yeah, everything's cooking up now, isn't it? It's doing a good job. Ideally, I could have cooked the chicken a little longer until it breaks down, but honestly, it's going to hit that point of breaking down later on. And I just wanted nice, big, meaty chunks of it. Okay, so what's the deal? What's the deal with David Chang? Okay, so a couple things. Got a couple of articles, something about taking credit for other people's work, and now he's sort of become like, the poster child in a way for a guy that talked about like, oh, you know, I was part of the problem of abusive kitchen culture. You know, that was kind of rampant in the restaurant industry, especially high-level restaurant industry all over the place, despite the fact that he was the one that in a lot of ways perpetuated it. There's a couple of articles, a couple of accounts of ex-employees and stuff, of people that work there. A lot of people was like, yeah, that guy was indeed an abusive piece of shit like kitchen dude, like everybody else was. Here's the other thing. Have you seen that content of his? It is sad. It is miserable. His current YouTube content that he is doing to promote his line of products is some of the most miserable sellout shit I have ever seen in my entire life. It is brutal. I reacted to it a couple of times back when I was doing the Just Chatting streams. It was fucking sad. Also, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. To Monaco Out. It was sad. And I see that and I'm like, God damn it, you did the Marco Pierre White. Why are you doing this? And there is a certain lack of care and affection that he puts into his food now. If you ever watch, again, it's all the content, it's all the shit that he is selling. But the way that he does it, there is such a lack of care and love and affection. And the way that he does things. I don't care about the fact that he uses a microwave in his cooking or that he fucks around with scissors. It's the fact that he's just fucking lazy. And not even just a lazy part, but there is no care. He seems like he is rushing it when he cooks. He seems like he's constantly rushing, that he is not taking the time to actually enjoy the thing. And I'm like, who are you appealing to? Who are you pandering to with this, you know? You're a successful chef. You have so much money. You're selling your little shitty products. You're pretending, in a way, to be this guy that needs to eat. And, well, everybody needs to eat. But the person that, like, super, super busy work life, they need to just get some food in themselves and they're gonna rush everything. Ugh, it's very inauthentic. It's very sad. Big J. Kenji Lopez alt fan. I'm a fan. No opposition to him at all. Was a lot of my cooking inspiration to be able to first get analytical with it. And I've disagreed with some of his recipes over time, right? But I really do like J. Kenji Lopez alt. I keep up with, Serious Eat articles continue to be my first frame of reference. Whenever I need a recipe reference for something, I always go to Serious Eats. That is the kind of influence that J. Kenji Lopez alt had on me. I take a lot of influence from him, and I trust a lot of the recipes on Serious Eats to be tested ones, right? I trust them not to be like, you know, SEO garbage. That they're actually like things that people can do to cook, and he does food in interesting ways. Also, by the way, speaking of which, I'm gonna do a little soy sauce in here. Not enough that you can actually taste it, but just enough to give it that oomph. And we'll do a pinch of MSG as well, just for fun. Okay. This is cooking a little bit longer than I had initially expected it to. Well, I mean, sometimes people's recipes are wrong for the intention that they're trying to fill. But yes, I really, really like Serious Eats because it is, you know, produced, it is developed, it is tested stuff that they do sometimes with a lot of ridiculous amount of iterations. So especially for some of the more technical stuff, that is my go-to basis of knowledge. Okay. Let's give that a nice little taste now. I can see that the viscosity has been upped a little bit. Oh my God, of course. Let's get a little bit of the stew in here. Don't worry, we'll ladle it in later. I'm just trying to get a feel for everything. The potatoes are starting to get that point that I want them to. They got that tenderness. I'm just tasting for flavor now. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really nice. That salt is awesome. Okay, sweet. We don't need a timer anymore. The flavor is where I want it to be. We still have a lot of, like, this hasn't been cooked for hours. Yes, I agree. I have the food lab. It hasn't been cooked down for hours or anything. There's not like those deep roasted tomato flavors. It still has a bit of that freshness. It's nice and acidic. We should probably do a little bit more salt because we're going to be going in with the kale in a moment. So, nice final big pinch of salt, and then we'll taste it at the end with the kale. Give that all a nice big mix all the way through. Beautiful. And now we'll go in with the kale. And it's all going to reduce down. Ah, come on. Good boy. Get in there. Oh, this is going to reduce down in a moment. We'll fold it in. Don't worry. Don't worry, my friends. You see this thing? You see this big pile of schlop? It'll be fine in a second. You know, I was worried about this Dutch oven being too big. It is almost too small for the amount of stew that I've decided to make today. Okay. We just want to submerge all that kale, make sure it cooks evenly at this point. Get it all in there. Nice. Nice. Awesome. Great. Put a lid on it, help the top of it steam. Oop, just for a couple of minutes so that it wilts down. And we're going to keep some of the crunch. I have an iPhone. I don't know what that is, Aline. I can't lie. That's going, again, we'll just give that like another minute or so. We'll mix it in, and then we'll add the parsley. Whew. Okay, you know what? I'm actually quite glad this stream is going as long as it is. I started at 5 o'clock. I thought this was going to be a fairly quick one. I didn't have a lot of stuff, once again, to do like in between. But I've tried to keep as busy as I can. What do you guys think? Did I have like a lot of dead time this stream? I think I paced myself well with like slowing down some of the prep work, saving it for other parts of it. Look, I don't know. I don't know everything there is to know. I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to very like specific cuisines. I don't know everything there is to know about food, right? I have a lot of really good idea of technique, a lot of good idea of theory, applicable and respectable and important food science when it actually matters. But there's plenty of cuisines I don't know a lot about. Okay. This has been going for like 2 minutes time, and it's basically fine, right? It's, ugh. Yeah, this is getting really viscous now. Potato is breaking down. The kale is getting in there. The kale is really nice as a texture in soups like this because it just has so much texture for like the rest of the soup to go. So it really picks it up with each bite. That's why I love kale in these kinds of applications. Especially if you don't cook it down all the way and you still keep like some of the frills on it. It is just a naturally, really, really optimal shape in my mind. You want to break up those clusters, make sure you don't just get massive chunks and clusters of kale. Oh, look at that, my friends. Look at that. That is a proper thing of stew, isn't it? Good pacing, IMO. You go slower at certain points, but I think it's good to repeat yourself if you think it's too fast. Okay, sweet. Good to know. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Also, by the way, guys, if you ever have feedback, first of all, join my Discord. If you haven't done so already, type an exclamation mark Discord or something. Join it. You can get notified for the streams and stuff. Sorry to shill, sorry to plug, but I think it's important that I do that. I really want people to show up to my streams. I'm a simple guy. I do have a Discord. Exclamation mark Discord in chat and join it if you're not in it already. Plug the merch. I don't have any merch. I'm not trying to sell you guys shit. I just want you guys to listen to me talk. I just want attention. That's all I want. And to make this my job. Hee but I don't have any merch. Okay. Look at this fucking stew. Look how thick it got with the inclusion of the kale especially. The potatoes broken down, the chickpeas have broken down, the water has reduced, and the kale, in all of its little frills, is starting to pick up some of the stew in its holes. Whew. Really good. Oh, this is exciting. This is a really exciting stew. That is kind of what I was envisioning when I was cooking this up. So I'm very happy about it. Okay. My friends, is it food time? Oh, look at that fucking pot. Look at this cauldron. Guys, I am so happy that I finally got to use this Dutch oven. This is my first time that I'm actually properly breaking it in, that I'm able to get some use out of it, and I could not be happier with it. This has worked like a charm. This has done everything that I've wanted it to. And I was nice and gentle with it, and I think if I continue to be nice and gentle with it, that my Dutch oven is also going to treat me quite well. Okay. Leave that going for a second. I'm going to wash up my knife so it doesn't stay, dirty. It was just, last time it was cutting, it was just the kale and stuff, so it doesn't really even need soap or anything. I think if I had one more thing to do though, like this stream, if I did like a quick side salad, but I don't eat salads, right? Because they kind of go bad in the fridge. The only salad that I really did was like that chickpea salad. God, I fucking don't like Gordon Ramsay. I don't like that. Thoughts on capitalism? Hate it. Hate it. Hate the fact that we have to participate in it. And that's why I'm trying to participate in the most ethical. These are not shoes. Those are socks. These are grippy socks. I'm trying to participate in the most ethical way possible, which is I'm not trying to mass produce mediocre cooking content. I'm not trying to do like fucking bullshit challenge clickbait videos every 2-3 days. I want to cook things that I cook at home, and I hope with enough production quality, with enough like effort and love actually being put into this thing, this can become a sustainable model in a way. I hope it works out. That's all. Okay. One last little look on this bad boy. Yep, the kale is cooked down. The parsley is cooked down. This has hit peak viscosity to me. And now I think, my friends, it is time to plate up a nice big bowl, isn't it? It's making you so hungry. It's quite healthy too, isn't it? It's got everything that you need in it. Very, very nutritious little meal that we got going. Okay. This looks so good. Thank you. I tried my best. Let's get myself a nice bowl. And I'll plate it up, and we'll garnish it with some scallions. This has greens. This has shit. I knocked over my utensil holder. Come on, good boy. Okay, it is going to be super, super hot though. It is boiling hot, in fact. I want a nice, big spoonful with everything in it. Get some of that liquid, get some of that kale in there. And let's get a couple more pieces of potato, I think. And then I'm set. Lovely. Whoop. Look at that bowl. Huh? Awesome. What? What'd you say? Okay. Gamers, it seems to be food time. And now finally, my last little touch on top. Bunch of scallions just gonna go on top. Perfect. That is the ideal amount of scallions. There's no such thing as too much, is there? Okay, that's it. That's the stew. And again, I told you guys, pretty quick stew. It's not braising for super extended amounts of time, even though you technically can. I think I could have cooked it a little bit longer to actually break down the chicken, but it's fine. Again, a lot of my inspiration in cooking is always just going to be Latin food, especially just like Latin chicken soups where you have like, these massive fucking chunks of chicken, right? Where's my hat? I don't have a chef hat. I know, I'm a fraud. Yeah, it does not matter. Whatever Gordon rated it, I don't trust his opinion on food. Fucking sellout. Ugh. Okay. Cheers, huh? Let's get a nice proper taste of this thing. Ooh, that is a really pleasant viscosity. Nice little spoon of that. It's really, really hot. It is steaming hot, in fact, as you could probably see. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is nice. That is really nice. Oh, that is such good flavor. That is awesome. Even like the chicken skin's like really, really nice and chewy in there. That is really lovely. Okay, the chicken is breaking apart just fine. It's doing what it needs to. It's a little inconvenient to eat right with like the bone in there, but I don't care. My inspiration was like all those like Spanish chicken soups. And this is doing the job for me. Get some of the chicken in there now. Look at that, huh? Mmm. Oh, that is awesome. That's the texture that I wanted. That is so good. Goddamn. That is really flavorful. Only thing that it's not is spicy. This would have been great for the inclusion of like some chilies of some kind. But kept it clean, kept it light. Super, super dense. It's got the chickpeas, it's got the potatoes, it's got the kale in it. This is a really lovely stew. Ooh. Also, whoa, Dosky, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Much appreciated. I'm so glad I finally got to bake in the Dutch oven. Mm. Mm. I finally got a bite of the kale. The kale is excellent. That kale is so good. That kale is maybe my favorite part so far. I love kale in soups. I really do. That texture is just such a pleasant crunch. Oh fuck, that is a comforting soup, my friends. That is comforting, that is pleasant, that is all the flavors that I wanted out of it. That is meaty, huh? That is great. That really is something. And by the way, once again, the most important part of this was really, really functional for me. This got rid of the chicken stock that I had sitting in my freezer. This got rid of the chickpeas that I had sitting in my freezer. This got rid of a pretty old onions and pretty old garlic that I've had. And then I was like, okay, shit, you know, I have a can of tomatoes that's been around forever. Most of the ingredients, minus the chicken and minus the kale, were all things that I've had at home. This was not a dish that I went to a store and then designed meticulously. I looked at what I had and then I thought about what is the best thing that I can possibly make from this. And this is the best thing I could have possibly made from it, which I'm really, really happy about. Oh, that is awesome. That is really flavorful. Why, thank you, Lindsay. Much appreciated. What did I think of chat this time? I am really impressed with how active you guys are. This is a little bit more of an active chat than I'm used to, so thanks for being here. Coach chat. I'm just happy that you guys were here and hanging out and talking with me. That's all. It's really good. Goddamn. I can't actually bend down and eat this properly because I still don't have a camera for when I sit down to eat. So what do you guys think of the stream? Feedback, thoughts, questions, comments, suggestions? Hit me. Oh, the skin is so nice. The skin is really flavorful. Especially like when you pair it with a potato so you just don't get like the gelatinous chewy chicken. Guys, I was scared. I thought everybody was like saying waving goodbye. The chicken skin with the potato. This is a very like homey, very comforting soup. I will. But I had that USB-C cable ready for moments just like these. High five. There we go. This is a meal that feels good to be eating it. You know? It's the kind of a thing that I'm like, damn, I did good. Sweet. This is indeed girl dinner. Right here. Ah. A little. That's nice. Especially like when you start to like take the pieces of chicken and you break it down to the rest of the stew. That's really nice. I'm a little tired of standing, but I have to look good on camera, don't I? Ciao. Nice. No, this is Pokemon music, I think. All you want to do is eat stew? Well, this is why I'm here. Oh God, I would never plug something that way. I would never do that to anybody. Later down the line, if I ever, hopefully, become a big streamer, sure, I'll do merch. But before then, I think it would be really, really nice to have, I would love to do brand collaborations with like cookware that I actually like and not like nonsense cookware. Oh God. That'd be the most embarrassing way to shill. This is really nice. But yeah, the chicken's a little bit difficult to eat, but this was kind of done by design. This is kind of the soup like texture and experience that I was trying to replicate. Thoughts on Karl Marx? I'm a fan. Describe your dish professionally. What does that mean, describe it professionally? Like, if I was supposed to like put it on a menu? You did indeed, but that's okay, because you made it just in time for the eating part, didn't you? You sure did. Ah! Let's get this bone out of here. I have no use for this one, do I? Oh, shit. Okay. Goodbye. I have no use for you. What's my dream job? Something like this. In that I would love to work in live production, always. Being the talent, right? A show, whatever. Doing something that I love, being like music or food or something. So, why don't I buy boneless chicken? Great question. I exclusively buy whole chickens now. It's cheaper, and I get the bones that I can then make a stock with. So I only buy whole chickens, and then I only use as much as I need. I will never center a meal around, like, it's very unrealistic to be like, okay, I'm just gonna cook chicken thighs. Well, you can have chicken thighs one night, but then you have the breast and wings to worry about later. Run a kitchen? Not without some experience, probably not, because there's a lot of logistics. I could figure out the logistics, but complicated. That is awesome. Have I ever worked a chef job? No, but I apprenticed in a couple of kitchens when I was younger, as a kid. Ah! Super good. Like any sports? No, not really. Not at all. Never been a sports guy my whole life. Not into it. My family was always like football, right? My dad and my brother. But never me. Have I ever tried skateboarding? Yes, I have. I want a longboard. Because I want a longboard because it's very functional to me. Because New York is really, really good for longboarding around. And I would love... Oh, this is just straight meat, no bone. What about esports? So here's the thing. I have no passion for esports. I have passion for Smash Bros. Because I love competing in Smash Bros. And I have passion for platform fighters, and I love analyzing and talking about platform fighters and platform fighter theory. But I have no passion for esports as a whole. CSGO, Valorant, Rocket League, that's not really my thing. Not a fan. I like fighting games. I like the theory and skill of fighting games and everything that goes into it. Final bite of the stew. Why do you keep calling me Nala? It would be nice to have a car, admittedly, because I don't know how I'd be able to avoid living in New York City if I'm not here at the moment. I feel like I'd have to, but I also love it when people drive me around. I love being driven around. Okay, everybody, final call. Any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, things that you want to say to me at all? This is your one and only time to do it because we have finished eating, we have finished cooking. That means I gotta clean up. I'm gonna find somebody for us to raid. We're not leaving just yet. Don't leave right now. It'll be like a minute, but final call in terms of just anything that you want to say to me. Let me just see who's also streaming right now. When next stream? Sunday. I'm thinking Sunday. Chef, will you do a Halloween stream? Chef, I like the way you're talking to me. That's good. Everybody should call me Chef. Maybe. It might be fun to do a Halloween stream into midnight onto my birthday because my birthday is November 1st. So it might be kind of nice to do like a little Halloween thing or something. How do I do the dish again, lol? Oh, God. Oh, fuck. You were super cool? Thanks. That's very sweet of you. I try my best to be cool. Who is live right now that is my friend? Not a lot of people live at the moment that I would normally raid or something. Oh, I see Danger Taco is here. Danger Taco is some really lovely Rocket League caster that I had the pleasure of meeting. Turning 21, that's right, big birthday. Hi, Possum, sorry. We're about to end off on the stream. So you kind of got here at a pretty rough time. Oh shit, wait, actually, is he just commentating right now? I think he's just commentating and restreaming it. Actually, it might not be a good idea to go ahead and raid him. In which case. Shit. We'll see in a second. Favorite part of the stew? Gotta say the kale. The kale, because it just like picked up like a perfect bite of everything. Because, you know, in general, vegetables like stuff like slicks off of them when it's in a stew, so you have to get some of the liquid. The kale was like perfectly seasoned because it picked up the rest of the stew with it, which I thought was an incredibly pleasant sensation. It definitely did wonders for me. Who is live in the food and drink category right now? Maybe we'll get another cooking streamer. I'm not following a lot of them at least. Viewers high to low right now. Oh shit, we have one of the top ones, Lamau. Sad I missed it, been making music? Well, it's okay to have you now. That's not an issue. At all, in fact. You got here when you could. Not a lot of people that I even recognize right now in the food and drink tab. So, when will you visit Italy? Man, when the Italian Smashing wants to get me out there. That would be nice. That would be cool. I would really like them for them to do that. Hee. Okay. Okay. Everybody's playing Party Animals right now. I'm not sure if I know what Party Animals is. I'm thinking way too much about this, aren't I? Let's go ahead and raid Lemon Kiwi. Great. Just Lemon Kiwi on Twitch. Was better to play or commentate Smash? I much prefer commentating. Dario, will you visit Turf Island? I would like to. I would like to have some people there I'd like to visit sometime. Okay, everybody. Let's go ahead and raid Lemon Kiwi. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Really, really appreciate every single one of you. I got a bunch of cleaning up to do. And yeah, Sunday, maybe around 5 p.m. or so. Something like that is kind of what I'm thinking about. Okay, guys, take care, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.